What I thought about doing was getting one of those really cool like rolling cups. And they would just slam down on you could just put on like a mat or something.
You could also do it in this thing, like even inside the container, you can shake it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And see what's on top.
Or towers.
Yeah.
Towers.
I can print you. I'll print you a tower if in your filament. You want one of those skeleton wireframe ones? Cool. There you go.
It would take I want the bigger one though.
Yeah. It will be a. That only takes like 16 hours. It's a day print, and I'm not using it all the time right now. So.
Yeah, I'd be so.
So now's the time to be like I found a thing that I want. FYI.
I've been kind of thinking of like a token for, you know what I mean, like.
I like for my birthday want one of these in my color, just so you know.
Very
I think
cool.
This is so dope.
Okay, cool.
But I know it's a big project.
I would love to do that. Yeah, for sure. I really want us with at least on this Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign. I want I really want you all to get your hero forges and print and design them, and I'm going to print them at like action figure size, so they can sit in front of you in front of the screen.
I'm so jazzed by that.
I want Dorvat the bear with his badass Setsubo.
Do they have bear stuff?
No, he's a bugbear. Bear barbarian.
Barbarian. Little totems.
Barbarian.
He's a bugbearian.
I'm a barbarian. Hi, my name's Baby Bugbear Butt.
Baby Bugbear.
So back to very serious D&D.
Oh yes, D&D.
Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and dive into it, right? Like, why even pitter patter about?
It's time.
It's time. It's time, bro.
It's time.
Wrong.
It's time to talk about it.
To talk about it.
Talk about it.
Okay. So we start the session. Yeah, you finish a long rest. You are leveled up to level 18.
Yes.
What features do you get? What do you get at level 18 as a arcane archer?
I think I had another shot and I do extra.
All your shot damage goes up.
Yeah, all my shot damage goes up to a 4d4.
4d6. It goes from 2d6 to 46.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's 46.
So now your shit's just exploding all the time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And
It timed
do you get?
pretty nice.
Is it not the time when you get like it unlocks like you can use it all the time? Don't you get that eventually? Is that your level 20?
I think that's
my
the 20
Xanathars?
where you can just keep shooting.
You want my Zanny?
No, he knows. He knows his shit. I'm not.
Do it.
I believe you. I just.
Know it.
You know your class better than I do.
Yeah.
You guys are great players in that way. I don't have to run your characters for you. Look at the big old binders and shit.
I can just.
It's true.
I literally have every
I can just
single
make magic
Arcana
arrows.
spell.
It just no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well then now you and that makes total sense with you just getting your wings and stuff.
Yeah. That's what I said. It timed
These
perfect.
are not even the ones that
I'm gonna
these are my prepared spells.
You wake up
So let's hope I don't
the
need
next
to...
morning from your
Yeah.
I don't know. I would imagine that you no longer require sleep. You just have to do the elfy meditation. You just get like the elf style meditation feature.
Okay.
So you're aware, but I imagine that during that time you're meditating. When you
But I don't have to sleep necessarily.
not necessarily, and then you're aware of your surroundings. Someone walks into the room, you can go get out of my room.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to your rest. It doesn't like ruin it for you, unless you have to fight. When you wake up, your quiver is changed. It is now you know it because it's your mother's.
Ooh. Oh fuck!
Yeah, it is.
It's your mother's quiver, and inside of it is all the radiant energy you ever need to form your magic arrows. So that's where the feature comes from. Like I'm just gonna explain it through universe stuff, and you can still of course produce the energy or whatever. But
Okay, I never told what my mom's name is, so I'll just tell that.
nice. Oh, you're buying that's a beautiful journal, by the way. You have beautiful handwriting.
She's a Gaiathan.
Cool, Gaiathan. So Gaiathan's quiver, or the quiver of Gaiathan, and inside of it is just a glimmer of her celestial energy. Just a small aspect of herself. She made this and saved this for you when you were a child. knowing that, and put a special spell on it that'll basically like once you became of age, now you are a man.
Yeah.
You've been an adult person for a long
Yeah.
time, but now you're a full-fledged angel.
Yeah.
And because of that, this was the thing that she wanted you to have. Also, your Vorpal sword and your Defender longbow have fused into one super weapon. It's
Whoa.
yeah. It's
Yes. Awesome.
This bow's title, which you can read on the pommel or hilt. I'm not sure on a bow or just the bow.
Grip. Just a grip.
Just on the grip, you can see that it literally has your name in it. This is called Halleck's Dreadbow, and it's like a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a
dude.
big fucking
Well,
deal.
It's a Vorpal
It's
defender.
It's a
bow.
magic item that even if your character dies or
What
whatever,
else? Symbol?
I will
Fresh
keep it.
mahogany.
I will keep it in my universes.
It's like dark and like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
handsome wood.
Parts of it are very leather bound.
Yeah, leather bound wood. It has flecks of the metal
That's about
of
me.
the
There is a
sword
button on me.
fused
Oh wait, there is a button.
fused into it in the shape of like very stylistic artisanal style feathers, very modern looking, and then it has just these jagged outcroppings of different chromatically matching like palette wise different gemstones that kind of reflect the light. They don't glow. But when you hit the light and when you make when you place your magic arrow on them, they all burn a bright white like so you have like 6 like tendrils of like just sensory magic of like light and flame that kind of flicker out of your bow as
Good
it's
God.
It
Go.
now has all the properties of the
They glow with
both weapons.
Okay.
So it is Vorpal. You have Vorpal arrows now when you fire from.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Write that down. Do that.
It's just a beam of energy that just like it like disintegrates their head. It's crazy.
This it also was blessed by your father. So this is a gift from your father. He's alive in heaven, like they all are.
Yeah.
And
Like they all
like
are.
they all are, alive in heaven,
Watching over us right now.
watching over us right now. Thank you, Sister Kathy. Mother Kathy. She's mother. We call her mother in my family.
Anyone
Well,
from
I'm gonna
Mom.
start calling you mother, even though we don't have kids.
Don't, please.
Okay, mother.
Please don't.
Mother. See, it's really weird if you don't have kids.
Except we call each other mommy and daddy because we have dogs.
We have dogs. We are.
Yeah, like,
Say, I do
mom
that
and
with-
dad
Well, we
is
are
normal
white
with
people.
dogs.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
no getting
okay.
around that. That's reality.
That's where we live.
Both the goes gravity.
Whoa!
Butt cheeks.
Perfect.
Are those dirty
What
dice?
does that
Dirty dice,
mean?
yeah. We have 46 of
We have
sex
some in
dice.
my house.
Just in case we ever.
I mean, we are white people.
we ever need. We ever need
We
a
of course
sex
have
scene.
sex dice.
Navel lips,
Dice.
gently suck, and pinch.
Ooh.
Wow. Why are you hiding?
I imagine that this is Meryl's dream. She's having a fantasy about Hallister right now
Oh,
with
that's
those
weird.
dice.
I don't like that at all. I don't feel safe in this
Why?
space. No, it's a joke.
Oh, okay.
It's just humor.
Of all the cruel things.
I tend to employ humor when I'm uncomfortable.
I get it now.
And you
That
talking
makes
about fucking
so
little
much
wizard actually
sense.
is. I take that back. That's like my dream. Just want to be an old wizard one day.
I was just kind of shocked by your reaction, to be honest.
Good.
You be truthful.
Be yourself.
You be
You be
yourself.
yourself.
You
What?
show your truth right
Let
now.
the boy dream, Martha. Okay. So your
Okay.
Halleck's Dreadbow, your Dreadbow is also the dread of any fiend that cross its path, granting you advantage on attack rolls against them if you don't already have it. Anything with a fiend type. When you are attacking a fiend, you can get your Vorpal at 15 or higher.
What? Whoa! Wait, what?
He had to yell that.
At 15.
Behead fiends.
Yeah,
with-
so
okay.
so normally it's a 20, right?
Yeah.
On a 20, he decapitates somebody with his magic arrows. It's only for fiends, and he has advantage on those attack rolls. And if it's a 15 or higher, naturally, that's going to be my addendum. It's all about the natural.
That's fun.
Same thing with the old Vorpal.
Like
All
can't,
the Vorpal swords, it's only on the
I thought that was
I think that was the rule, so it's got to be a nat 15 or higher. It cannot be when you aggregate that high. Otherwise, it just functions as normal.
Okay.
But
Yep.
then head off.
That's
Remember that
That's
product?
awesome.
Head off.
fucking
That's
terrifying.
I just throw
That
dark
was head
knock
on.
people.
Head on.
Yeah.
Get at us head on.
I imagine it's like literal like beams of
Suck
like,
it.
energy that you shoot. It's so dumb.
Yeah, and then you can. I imagine that with all of this, when you get to Waterdeep, you might be seeking out an aesthetical change in your clothing or whatnot. So if you wanna, when you get to Waterdeep, we are gonna go back up to Waterdeep because the other big decision we made at the end of the I think really not even that last session, the session before in Ezra's the Lich's Runestone Palace. We found the black rune stones that you need to specifically travel via a planar shift spell to the Shadowfell. Some planes require that you have something of the place to get to the place, and they are indeed consumable. So I think you have 3 of them. So that means you have 3 trips back and forth through the Shadowfell. Otherwise, you'd get stuck there, and you'd have to find a place where the universe is thin, and you can pass through it through portals or through lesser magics or whatever, or by happenstance. Sometimes you just fall into the Shadowfell. I had a character that remember Noel. That was Noel's backstory, and the game we played in Choctaw.
Yep.
Yeah, he just accidentally fell into the Shadowfell.
Oh shit!
Like Alice in Wonderland style, and it just fucked up his life. Just like lost his nose.
As it would.
As it does.
As it.
Okay.
As is natural.
So you wake up, and you can also have a hero point. Everybody can have a hero point.
Oh,
cool. I'm feeling happy today.
I have so many.
You can only have up
I
to
had
5.
none.
Yeah.
Well,
And if
that.
damn.
But if you have a max and someone else has an empty slot, I don't care.
I have empty slots. So
Take one of mine.
Okay.
Take 3 of mine.
Yeah, seriously. I was getting ready to. I was lying when I said 1. So.
Okay. So as you guys make your way from the
I'm getting hero points.
from the what level is that? The 21st level? What level was the terminus level?
21.
21. So 21 back to level 19 to the level where I think it's called the Sea Deeps, and I think it's where the Extremator, that Mind Flayer, the Ulitherid, the Illitherate that Illiterate, yeah, that had the fake world of Ultradeep, where you guys explored Ultradeep.
Fuck Ultradeep.
So
Yeah,
that's
Ultradeep
where you guys remember it was like a gazebo that had like a floating apparatus, and it was you would remember that like other adventurers had been here at some point, and then you found their bones later, like all of their bones. He had been feeding them, the adventurers, to the Neolithid. Yeah. So not as nice as he seemed to be. You also had, I think, horrible dreams of the supercomputer that he made by turning his crew, by eating half of their brains and then linking them together via machinery. So Ultradeep is literally built. It's the combined brains of a bunch of other mind flayers who are now as much of victims as anything else. But I don't know if you really care about mind flayers that much, but still, it's kind of awful. So because when you left his camp, you're like, oh, he's all right, and then you found all those bones. And then when you guys left, you were like, oh, okay, we know that he is not. I no longer believe that anymore. Do you still have your demon's eye, by the way? Did it break? Yeah.
Yeah.
It broke.
You broke it? I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
And that is the only thing that is still with you from your former life. You now just have one badass looking glowing eye. You have the shape of an eye in there, but it's got the kind of like a magical effect that comes out of your. You just look.
That sci-fi.
So I still have true sight in all the stuff from my eye then? Or is that absorbed?
That's gone.
Okay.
So that's gone, baby.
He gone.
But I can.
Yeah.
Who cares? Your bow is stupid. You're a fighter.
Our bow is pretty
You're a fuck. Shut up.
That is the advantage of playing a fighter in one of my campaigns.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit.
You all
Yes.
love it.
I learned
9 red legs is fire.
when I played with Andy, and the first time I got a fighter to 20, I was like, he's just not like he's doing a lot of damage, but he's just not having. I mean, he's having fun, but he's not like. Everyone else
Fighters
is
are
like.
kind of. Fighters are like one. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
so you
Like,
can just
do
start
the
giving him
one thing.
everything. You fly around. You shoot lasers out your butt.
Whatever you want, man.
Have
You're a level 18
fun.
fighter.
You've been swinging a sword for 17 levels. All right, cool. So you guys make your way to the level, back through the cave of the Neolithid. Back along the way, there are tons of skeletons here for your craziness. If you want to cast any of your, you have your beholder with you still. He floats behind, and he's absorbing that one feature. But you could cast.
I'd like to cast Animate Dead as many times as I can.
How many? How many?
That's a lot.
That's
of
a
it.
lot.
That's a lot.
Of zombies. That's awesome.
a lot of zombies,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Also,
how many?
I don't have to expend a spell slot to cast Animate Dead anymore. At level 18, I have Spell Mastery, and I took it. I get to take.
That's pretty good.
You took it out, Will?
That's pretty
Does that
good.
make it out, Will?
That's pretty
No,
good.
let me check. I say
That just sounds like
Spell
she
mastery, and I'm
was-
like 90% sure.
You said
that
Andy.
will.
You can just
Hey.
like do this.
She's the Night King.
Yeah.
All right, we got so excited the dogs got
I
excited.
think they're just excited at
Animate
us.
Dead. You said Animate Dead.
Yeah, I've taken it, and also Mage Armor. So now I have a static AC, and I don't have to cast Mage Armor.
I love you.
This
That's
is really
the
fun.
sexiest thing you've ever said. All right.
I told you it last week too.
Yeah, I know. I liked it then. Let's see.
Reread
It's
that for me,
instantaneous. It's 10 feet. It takes 1 minute. So maybe that's the main thing.
Also,
You also can only cast it at its base level at will. So if you want,
can I see Xanathar's guide? I think that because of
you don't have any features from Xanathar's Guide.
I don't.
No, you're a necromancer. That's just regular old
no,
wizard.
I'm sorry. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
There's a necromancer spell in here.
Oh, that's great, Jimmy.
Hey man, I'm just saying.
I'm in trouble.
Wink, wink.
Let's see. Sorry, let me
Look
at
it
this.
up, Tara. Look it up.
Yeah. Here we go.
So they doing
Guys
Cody Bangman.
in high school, speaking of cheerleaders, they like tossed a girl. You know how they do?
No.
It was
Yeah,
a basketball game.
Yes.
And they tossed this girl
Mhm.
at an angle onto the basketball floor.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
horrible.
Terrible.
Can
It
I
was
read
like-
it?
Yes.
At 18th level, you have achieved such mastery over certain spells that you can cast them at will.
Okay.
Choose a first level wizard spell
Mm-hmm.
and a second level wizard spell that are in your spell book. You can cast those spells at the lowest level, you are correct, without expending a spell slot when you have them prepared. If you want to cast either spell at a higher level, you must expend a spell slot as
What's the
normal.
move?
Perfect. And I can switch them out every 8 hours.
You can switch your mastery.
I can switch the spell. By spending 8 hours in study, you can exchange one
not,
or both of the
not
spells.
every 8 hours. 8 hours in study. So
you take a
Oh,
long
okay,
rest
yeah,
and
sorry.
not get any benefits from it.
yeah, you could stay up all night and do it
Yeah.
if you really needed to.
Right.
But most of the
Not
time that
every
means
8
you
hours,
like
I see.
on downtime of a day. You could do it over the course
If
of a
I
day.
have 8 hours
if
of
you're just like
rest.
we're gonna hang out here all day.
Cool.
Please don't make me no more.
Very
You
cool.
want to go outside?
If you want to do as much as you can,
Yeah, I do.
how many 8th level spells you got? Spell slots.
I only have one.
Even at level 18?
Yeah.
Okay. How many 7th level?
One.
2? Okay. I mean, if you want to get as many as you can, you're gonna have to cast one of your higher level ones. You do get an additional one just for being a necromancer.
I was gonna say Undead Thralls is the thing that lets me do
Quick
an
housekeeping
additional.
question.
Yeah, you just get an extra whenever you cast the spell. I think you just
Gotcha.
get an extra.
So it's just like
let,
double.
let me just see it real quick.
Quick housekeeping
Here's
question.
Undead
Yes.
Yeah.
Which pumpkins are allowed to go outside?
All of them.
All of them.
Thank you.
All of them.
Undead thralls. Yeah, you can
Yeah, I
target
have-
one additional corpse. So yeah, very cool.
They updated this.
I have 3 5th level spells and everything else
We
is
just
one.
talked about that. You
Spell
should
slot.
figure out
Cool.
Go in your left eye. You've got like.
So if you use 5th level spells, it takes a minute, and there is nothing saying that you cannot do this again. It's just another casting. So if you're looking to get maximum number, so if you want to sacrifice all your spell slots and spend how many spells?
5th level.
Yeah, how many spell slots you got?
Total?
Yeah. How many times can you cast a 5th level spell?
5th level, 3.
3.
I can cast a 5th level.
So if you cast it at 5th level, you get choose a pile of corpse bones.
Modify memory, teleportation circle. Yeah, I would totally. Let's spend all 5 of my, or all 3 of my 5th level spells.
Okay, so you're gonna get 2
that's great.
first level, and then 4, 6, 8, 10. So you get 10. So you only have to spend 3 minutes, and you can raise 30 zombies.
Yeah.
Do you want? These were decidedly skeletons.
10 what?
10 skeletons.
But you said 30 zombies.
10, 30s. Well, for each
Oh,
casting.
because I get-
yeah, you're casting 3 times. Yeah.
Okay, duh.
And it only takes you 3 minutes. When you do, I have to remind you that every time you raise dead, they all think that they're like, they all like what?
Oh yeah, they're cognizant. Right?
Yeah, they
they're
all
still people.
So as you raise them, they're all like, what are we doing here? What's going on? Oh God, I'm dead. We're all dead, and they're all.
I imagine Meryl giving them pep talks and talking to them quite often.
Yeah,
and watch my eyes.
Yeah,
look away.
you just have to be near them and continue to like exert control
and
over
I am
them.
yours.
Otherwise, they will run away from you.
Yeah.
And if you have to be by
They
them.
won't like cause us harm.
No. If as long as you're in their presence, it's a very role play thing.
Okay.
As long as you're paying attention to your groups. What you can't do is like send them on like a mission. You couldn't send 30 of them away from you because they're all just going to run away from you.
Right.
But you could march 30 of them into battle, no problem.
Okay.
Because sometimes you'll see one or two of them slipping away. And you're like, where are you going? They're like, nowhere, man. Just like. So it's very funny. It's not decidedly.
I get that.
Some of them are probably bummed, but they're not actually them. You know what I mean? Like it's just an echo of whatever like the spirit that used to resist.
Say that one more time. Sorry, I just want to check my spell slots. Make sure I have them down correctly.
So she has 30 skeletons. So you can animate blah blah blah. Each one of those creatures and reassert control over 2 additional. So yeah, I think, and then all you have to do, basically, if you wanted to, you could keep them forever. You're gonna get 2. I'm just trying to figure out how many spell slots you have.
Keep her beholder too, so.
The beholder operates on its own feature, so that's like she can control one undead that she didn't create.
Cool.
It's basically, like one of the main rules of necromancy is that it's almost impossible to control someone else's. Like they're all.
Right.
Okay. Reassert over 2 additional, and you get 4. So if you did a 5th level spell, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12. You still have to spend all 3 of your 5th level spell slots at this level. You would have more uses of that than you would need, but you could.
If I can get a short rest, I can regain those. All of them.
That's crazy.
Wait, no.
No, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I can.
Oh yeah, it's half your
Up to 9.
Yeah. Well, then you can do.
Oh no, the level.
Yeah. So you get one.
I
back.
could do 1.
Yeah. So you're not
a
out of 5th
lower
level
one.
spell if you really cast it. All right, very cool. So let's make our way up to that level. This is where I'm going to kind of leave you guys for a second. You all kind of get to the base camp there, that place where you were before, kind of avoiding. Remember, you can avoid his camp. There's lots of like metal walkways that have been constructed over the rock bed of this cave, and then the water that kind of floats through it. It's all very purple, and there's just like kind of aether that floats through here, kind of giving everything kind of a sparkly, glistening effect. It's a very serene place. It's kind of, like now it's creepy. Now you guys don't like it.
No, it's silent.
No.
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 Oh, okay.
No, we're on level 19 of.
No, I'm sorry. I'm with you.
Yeah. It's just it was this very like tranquil kind of like.
I get it.
Like very like, and now it feels alien and sterile, and you know that the exterminator murdered a bunch of people and pretended to be their friend. So it's a special type of evil that this guy's doing. It's not really aimed at you, but you know that if you I'm just leaving the ball up to you. He knows you're here, but he has to be pretty close to you to read your thoughts. So, you you guys kind of avoid him naturally. You get
Does my non-detection not help? Will it not hide from him?
Not here. Yeah. Okay. And Odak tells you that. He says, "We're being watched, my lad, and I don't like it." Blink, 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 blink.
Yes, I know.
I don't like it when people look at me like that.
Well, I know. That's why I carry you around, and here we are now.
Will you put a blanket on me?
No, I won't put a blanket
Please.
on you. No. That's ridiculous.
No one else can hear this conversation. It's just
You're
you
being
talking
ridiculous.
to your shield.
I think you're being rude.
So as you guys kind of maybe just stop at the place where the portal is literally built into that like pavilion. So this is where you guys have to go to travel. So you can get there without him interacting with you, no problem. But he does know you're there, and I'm just gonna kind of open the floor up, and you guys can roleplay and take over. Like you guys are at that gazebo. It's got the floating thing. There's still supplies, so you guys can read up any of your supplies, get fresh water.
Cool.
And then I'll get the book ready, and while I'm getting the book ready and figuring out how the portal works, you guys can do some roleplay.
As I was saying earlier, I think we should save your sister.
Save her?
Yes.
Why would we save her?
Listen,
She's weak.
listen. Please hear me out on this. The two of you are the most powerful things I've ever seen anywhere. That's the things I've seen you do is amazing and terrible and dreadful and
Thank you.
amazing. And you had to be reborn to get to here, right? And you have to find your body, right? Maybe she can be reborn if we kill her patron. And the three of you, you could take over the world. You could change universes.
I don't think we need her.
She would need
I
major.
honestly would walk away.
I agree.
Yeah.
She would
I don't
need
think we need her.
major reform.
And you guys are kind of standing by the
It is
beds,
better,
by the cots,
yeah.
and you just walk over to the portal where I imagine Dell is kind of inspecting. You're back to your old trappy self again. Your head's clear. You feel pretty good.
My hands are free. I'm not carrying a dagger around.
You feel, instead of like the Frodo like with the ring and then there's a piece of me missing, you feel like a weight's lifted off of your shoulder.
I was thinking about leaving the Undermountain.
Well, you're gonna get a chance, and
I was
also
gonna go stab people in the outside of the
to
Oh my god.
to represent kind of your like.
I'm good now.
You're good. You've got your mind back. You lost your madness, and you don't have that whispering in your head, and you got into clarity. You
She has a chance to escape.
There you go.
I'd rather kill her and you can bring her back under your service.
Meryl's literally never thought of that.
All right, hero points.
New plan!
Idea person over here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
No,
love it. So then-
I want to play that Meryl is totally stoked by that idea. It's like the scene is over now.
You as well.
That kind of like
Salem, hero point.
recognition that she likes that idea.
I'm full on hero points. Because you guys gave me all of yours. You're
I'll
all
write
right.
yours down.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
I'll
so
take mine if you need one.
I'm gonna take yours.
Do
let's
it.
see. Where is the place
Oh,
with
that's
the
wonderful.
I
thing?
have so many.
Kill her and I'll just bring her back.
Yeah, then she works for
So
you.
easily.
She loses her conscience for humanity, and that's all I care about. I want to destroy her.
Yes,
humanity.
take away all of her power. She's already
Oh, this
given
is
her
level
agency
17,
away
by the
so
way,
willingly.
so-
Oh, yeah.
She is
So I'm kind of
weak and stupid and silly. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I digress.
Ranting.
Yeah.
yes, and she's got a new vigor on her step.
Let's
Bigger.
kill the bitch.
Yeah, so this is actually level 17. So you guys, now that we're at epic level, no,
Murder.
this is level 17 up to the.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. now that you guys are at epic level, you don't have to crawl between the levels. So if you want to make it to a level, we get to smash cut to you making your way up to that level because
we would just like smash.
Because
cut anything
come up your way. Yeah, that's where the term comes from. That's how Steven Spielberg used to treat his PAs.
Steven, you're Spielberg.
Somewhere in there is when I throw you. That's where it was like that's the
the
trope
montage.
everybody's been waiting for the entire movie.
Okay.
But it's in like a montage.
Do you want to do me an investigation on the archway? Yeah. Do you give yourself advantage because it's technically kind of using your use magic device ability?
Okay. So I would.
You don't have the necessary requirement to activate it, but you would know you can use that ability to further your understanding of.
I'm gonna call it a.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
You threw that merrily.
22. That mine is
Did you roll with advantage?
Well, I have a level of exhaustion, so my advantage is actually just regular.
Well, no, you have an extra level. You have 2 levels of exhaustion or 1?
What are you saying to me?
No. You have an extra slot for exhaustion now.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain that correctly. You have 7 total levels of exhaustion as opposed to everyone's 6 levels of exhaustion. And now whenever
so you get
take
like a bonus
whenever
level?
you take a level, your first level of exhaustion that you take does nothing to you.
Is that permanent?
That's permanent because of having to deal with that cursed weapon.
Oh.
And the
Your,
cat.
That's cool.
Your arc is a little
That's dope.
smaller than everybody else's, so yeah, but
Cool.
not as
I
like
heard that.
grandiose, but
Misunderstood.
But the madness and like it took a toll on you.
Yeah.
But instead of it being like Frodo, like I can't enjoy the
I have to
Shire
go-
anymore.
Yeah.
Now you're like I'm a new person. I've been saved.
Yeah.
Like Sayla saved me. You know again. So
I'm in love with her.
I'm in love with her, says Meryl.
I imagine that was asexual.
That's fine. He probably got his wanker cut off.
Yeah,
He's all scarred up.
Dell
Yeah.
was a woman.
He looks very womanly physically in that drawing.
Well, in the beginning,
He looks
for
like
some
a
reason, I thought that
cherub
was a woman. I'm really
baby.
sorry. Like, I thought you said that.
No, you played another character
The cherries
recently
of
that was
cheeks.
a female. I believe.
Yeah, but what was her name?
On Thursday, the one Thursday night you played, played. But that
the
was not. That was,
model I made for Dell on Hero Forge
Okay.
is a
Ah.
woman
Oh,
because I
that
wanted
makes
the
sense.
thinner hips.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like the males are
Yeah,
super
get a little
blocky,
hotter.
and I wanted him to be like very
get that.
dainty.
I get
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
that's cool.
Then
Yeah,
I
and then
totally
when I drew him, I imagined him very sweet face.
Oh no, that was true.
He's like a
Very
little
like
cherub.
cherubesque, and now he's this scruffy, like
No, he's
scarred up.
You want
But-
cherry cheeks?
But you got like a
It was.
Kurt Russell vibe now, like a
Mm.
all cut up, but I'm still all the scars look good.
It's a good
Or
glow
a
up.
Peter Dinklage at the end of
Yeah.
he looks
I
so
like
good
that.
at the end, and
I
it's
like
like
that.
you look
He
all
really does.
you should be fucked up, but you
Yeah.
look so good.
Yeah.
I think he's very handsome.
He
So-
is.
But he looked like
is.
such a dork in the
That's-
beginning.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
they did a great
He had a
job.
terrible haircut,
They did a
Yeah.
great
That's
job,
really
and he just
making
got
us
so like cool.
be able to hate him
Yes.
Yeah.
because we wanted to like him. You know, like
It's true, yeah.
Anyways, we love Peter Dinklage.
Peter
Get at us,
Dinklage.
Peter
Love
Dinklage.
you, bro.
I know you're out there watching right now. You got
Here's
nothing
you,
better to
Peter.
do.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter
He's
Dinklage,
also-
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter
Peter.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter.
He's also a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Jonah that.
True.
Yeah. He's
All these things are
he's
true.
dope.
So you.
Sorry, what?
No, you're fine. Yeah, you. What did you roll? You rolled 22. You said.
Yes, actually, I'm not real. It was a misunderstanding.
You get
25.
advantage. You get advantage. Yeah,
Yeah,
25.
25.
Cool. Yeah, you're kind of looking at it and having watched. You know, this is all stuff you just learned. You're not magic. You know what I mean? But you've been watching this wizard, and the source. You've been watching these magic people, and her
Fighting magic people.
specifically the wizard's magic is such a practical magic. Such a practical application of magic that you could pick up secrets, and so you've been able to.
Cut to me not paying attention to you and doing something fabulous.
So
Go
you're
on.
filling around the archway, and then you dust, and then you read and you guys can read in all languages. So
Yeah.
you realize markings, and you're like these are arcane. These are like arcane meaning archaic. These are archaic symbols, ancient symbols, and they're all rooted in different languages. And you're like, that's goblin. That's giant, and you start going around, and you're like, arrow. It says arrow.
It says arrow.
And you know that all you have to do to activate it is to shoot an arrow into the archway, and it will open up.
Sweet.
So who can shoot an arrow?
Well,
Sure.
I don't know why we're all looking at each other.
I guess I'll just take a shot real quick.
Yeah.
Someone just shoot an arrow. Let's go.
Alec,
And then, so
Get
please
Yahtzee.
open the door.
Roll it.
roll it.
I think.
Roll it.
That's the rules, bro.
God.
It's an auto hit. You can hit. You shoot the arrow at the wall. The magic arrow that you create. Also, you don't have to use your ammo die anymore.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Benefit.
That's the best part about.
Yeah.
So now it feels like a reward. Now it's not nothing. Now it isn't nothing that you get infinite supply of arrows if you just pretend. I know I'm off camera. I don't care.
Do you use scissors?
Are you talking loud enough? Though?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You
I'm
are
talking
audible.
loud enough, baby.
That's some good ones.
I am
Audible.
looking for
Audible books.
this room is a mess. I don't know where
We're gonna advertise Audible books, guys.
Audible. It's
Audible.
a book. It's a book in your ear.
Yep.
Baby.
Reads to you.
I'll just use the ones in the back. I'm so stupid.
What do you need?
So you fire the arrow.
Yep.
And when you do, you see the archway lights up, and it's quite literally just these archways flicker, and they flash with one of these elder runes that Hallister has been spending his life unlocking here in the Undermountain, the only place that they exist anymore, because the magic here is so ancient and old. And when it flashes, the wall behind it disappears, and it's just an archway that you can walk through to level 2. So that's, and you see a rune of. Roll me a d10. Well, no, you're the one, not you. No, you, because you're the one that's looking at the stuff.
Cut so clean.
Roll me a d10 minus 1.
Sorry.
You should be.
I rolled a 1.
No.
Boom, 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 boom. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't matter. It's just randomness. Okay. You see a rune, and you're like, this rune. Once again, you're just like you're figuring out these arcane symbols and what they mean. Not really the application, but you're like this has got to be the rune of Ulathar, which means the rune of passage. So you're like, this means passage. But remember, you guys don't know if you're going to get the positive effect of these magic runes as you walk through them, or the negative one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the gambit you take when you use this magic. So, who wants to go through first?
I will.
Okay. And you guys are totally chill, just
Ew.
Wait.
avoiding the exterminatory. You can always deal with him later. That's,
Yeah, I figured
Yeah,
we're just ignoring him,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
What?
Sure.
The exterminatory, the mind flayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
No
care
worries.
about
Okay. Well, so
Please.
you say wait.
it. Wait. I cast augury.
I don't have time.
Not about that later.
Is this door baneful?
Roll a d4.
2.
How many do you have? You still have one left?
I have 1 left after that.
Wheel.
I have 2.
The answer is wheel instead of what?
You have all 3?
So I don't know what that means.
That means it's good instead of
That's
bad.
good.
Okay.
That's not bad.
The answers I'm supposed to give you are wheel or woe or
Okay.
neither. So
Okay, so then let's.
Yeah.
This should be fine.
Tally ho! Sally forth.
all right.
Sure.
As you guys walk through the archway, you feel the same warm pulse of just pure arcane energy washing over you. This magic is unlike anything that you've felt before. It's very raw and primal in the sense that it comes from before the universe was made. You now, for the next 24 hours, have the ability to cast Knock at will, requiring no components.
Awesome! Yes!
Cool.
You love knock.
I do love
Yeah.
it.
Aw, you
Cool.
like.
That takes you to level 2, and honestly, I don't even care about rolling for see if anybody sees it you're going up that way. You might encounter the Doom Raiders, that like adventuring group that
Do you have my skeletons?
they all just fucking walk through.
Okay.
You're just gonna bring them up in the water deep? They got a gun with you. That's the
Yeah. If I don't, I'll lose them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
gonna come with me.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
She says, "Come along,
Oh my
friends."
God, that's not gonna work.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's not gonna work at all.
This
We're
might be a
casting
bad
visibility
idea.
on them.
Yeah, that doesn't.
You can't
What
cast
if I-
invisibility on 30 people.
That's a lot.
Try me.
Maybe. Let's see. That's actually not a bad idea.
That's a lot.
I was about to say that's a silly idea, but
if I let them go though, then what was all that for?
I don't know, babe.
You know, they
You're
would
the one.
disappear.
You're the player. I'm saying whether you can or can't do things, not whether you should or shouldn't.
I know. I'm just talking out loud.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I would love to bring them with me at all times. If I can hide them in like a little pocket or something, that'd be cool.
Those are good.
I'm gonna try one.
Yeah, you just need a giant bag of holding. That's fine.
I have a bag of holding.
No, you need a giant one. The whole 30 skeletons.
You'd need a giant one.
Can we cast enlarge?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Can I cast enlarge on a?
There's a chance you could blow up the universe doing that.
There is a chance you could blow up the universe.
Doing what?
Casting enlarge on a
On
bag of holding.
an extra planar dimensional
You'd
space.
have to roll.
Higher
no.
levels, okay, invisibility. Higher levels, it lasts up to an hour. It's a concentration spell. When you cast a spell using a spell slot at 3rd level or higher, you can target one additional creature for every spell slot above 2nd level. So you could retain a good chunk of these skeletons in an invisible state. You also could, I guess, really try to you could try to convince Durnan to help you. Like if you can convince him it's okay that there's skeletons crawling out of his, it just might have to
just like hold them.
you're gonna have to have a skill check with the owner of the yawning portal before he's gonna let you, because you guys
to the universe.
you guys literally have to ride a rope all the way up. So maybe if you give him did you grab all that gold from the terminus level?
I've got hella gold.
I've got a
Still
bunch of
got a
gold.
bunch of gold.
I literally dumped all of my gold.
For
You have no
long
gold.
term.
Well, there was how much? There were 4 of those dudes. They each dropped 25,000 gold pieces.
I picked up 15K.
Just burst from their gold.
And let's see.
Yeah, these are really good. I don't know if you like pecans, but these have candy on these pecans in their taste.
I would love that.
Every 1,000 gold pieces weighs 1 slot of your carrying capacity. And remember, you can carry more than your capacity. You just become encumbered, and the longer you travel encumbered, the more exhaustion you take. So by the time you guys, because you're going through this portal, you can carry all that gold to the yawning portal without getting any exhaustion. It's not.
Okay,
It's
very
not
cool.
long. It's not long enough.
Yeah, I can do my own.
That's true.
Get strong.
So you grab 25. You grab 25. You grab 25. You grab 25. So you guys got long. You got
What about my zombies? Can you carry anything?
the
Grab a
zombies.
holder?
Zombies can carry 2 gold.
The zombies can help you carry stuff. Yes, that is honestly they're you basically don't have to.
That's basically all we're good.
You have an
You don't have to walk.
You have an army of servants. I imagine that
The girl
yeah,
doesn't carry anything.
that's you could make them form a chair or something.
Oh,
and
I
they
don't
could
have
just,
to carry her book anymore,
Yeah, that's
right?
the book.
No, there's 4 of them that just walk
No,
behind
that's
her with it.
Gerald's job now.
And as you turn
Gerald,
them.
the book, please.
No, there's literally 4 of them. This book is so big.
Oh, and it's
that-
13
and-
points of
Yeah.
weight.
So there's
13.
2 of them sit real low. They're and then 2 of them sit kind of high, and they make a moving pedestal. That,
You are so good at this job.
Oh, like,
Please
thank
do
you,
it
ma'am.
forever. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, madam. Yes, we'd like to go though, if we could.
The man candy's pretty good.
So
See you soon.
I'm sorry, I just.
Just pack those.
So you guys make it up to the yawning portal. When you get to the top of the bottom level of the dungeon, remember you have to ride the rope. So you literally have to have gold for Durnan. So Durnan, he kind of peeks his head
Oh,
over
shit.
after whoever's running the rope sees all the skeletons.
He's gonna be really mad at us because we actually owe him gold for falling in from before.
We've got hella gold.
Yeah,
We don't own that
I think all can be. Okay, you might have to spend a considerable amount of gold, but all.
Really?
Huh?
I thought it was like 2 gold or something.
Yeah, it's
before.
one gold to ride the rope.
Yeah.
You shorted him 6 pieces of gold.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
I
but
think
he's the man, you know. He's the guy.
That's true. That's true.
Like
I'm
that.
glad you respect his authority here because you're not going to get up with all these skeletons without
This is a lot of
respecting his
gold.
authority.
This is a lot of gold.
So he's like, "Oh, down there." He says, "No monsters in my tavern."
They're not monsters. They're pets.
We're people. Well, we're skeletons who think we're people.
They're mostly pets. We
Yeah,
promise.
and they all cheer. We're people. Yeah.
Stop, we're trying to
carry
talk.
them out.
Yay!
Maybe
We've got plenty of gold.
Roll a persuasion to get your skeletons to stop cheering and clamoring. We're gonna be free! I'm gonna see my wife! They're all just yelling. I'm coming, Derek!
Nat 20.
They and she just does a little and they go.
Everyone, I do too.
We got plenty of gold.
And I say,
And they're quite well behaved.
And when you do that, Durnan smiles and he says, "You know you owe me gold."
Well,
We've got your gold.
and I like open my gold, and because I'm carrying 25, so it's like everywhere. I'm like,
We have a lot of gold.
and I just kind of jump up and down. I'm like, I think we've got that and some more. We need your help.
He says, "You want me to keep 30 skeletons?" He counts
Do you
very
have a
quickly.
little-
He's like Rain Man.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You have 30
exactly what we want you to do.
Oh, well, let's
As
see.
I said, they'd be very well behaved.
He's
We'll be back for them
Roll a
so
persuasion
shortly,
with
my dear.
advantage because
Can
of.
you leave them?
Well, technically,
if I lock them in a room.
she retains ownership over them for
If- if
24
we lock them
hours.
in a room.
But with their new feature, they do possess free will. But if they are managed
Right.
appropriately, yeah. So if you guys pay for it,
Guard them.
Someone's scarier than them.
or just like
Yeah.
lock them in rooms,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna.
they inherently want to complete your desires, and they'll keep trying to do that, but they have little spurts of like, oh no, bye bye. So it's never an uprising. It's always like one or two trying to get away.
Yeah,
Don't let
all
them
of your-
stray.
They're all the same guy.
Yeah. Wasn't.
What'd you roll?
Non nat 20 is
Cool.
if that's not enough. I want to use my.
How much gold?
How much gold? I mean, I'm just.
Leo
showing-
and
I'm-
5,000.
Yeah, he's fine. Non at 20 says, make me an offer. One I can't refuse.
Give him 100 gold.
100 gold.
Have fun.
5,000.
I meant.
I'm listening.
I meant. Oh yes.
You want me to watch a gaggle of monsters for how long?
I'm gonna channel Divinity Emissary of Peace and get a +5 to my persuasion. Does that change it at all?
Let's me roll.
I'm gonna talk to him.
I want
Great.
to talk to him, Mama Bear.
Great.
I was
Pass
just saying-
those
no, that was you.
pecans,
you do
if you
I'm the
will.
mama bear in this situation.
I'm just gonna step in front of Sayla and
What
say
am I doing?
it's
What?
less than 1 day. And no
Everyone's
more
talking
than
at the
1,000.
same time.
Actually, you would even know that because you're going to the Shadowfell, it could be less than a few hours because of how time
Cool.
works.
Yeah, I'm
So,
gonna say,
so you can even to sweeten. And how,
Yeah.
you said how much?
Less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000.
well, I don't know why I would word it like that.
Oh.
Sorry.
No more than.
But yeah, no more than not 5 grand.
Said I liked his offer better. When you say no more than 2 hours,
Don't barter with a fool.
I'll roll a persuasion.
Okay.
Roll an intimidation.
Okay.
I think that's your aesthetic is sending chills down people's backs.
Muscle.
You don't have and then on like flexing kind of way. I don't think that
You just. It just.
she's just
happened.
scared.
32.
Jesus.
He
fuck.
looks at you and you're like, and your eyes just glaze black, and you look up at him and you're like, what did you say? You said-
1,000.
you know,
Yeah, I said
You
don't
said-
barter with a
you're
fool.
like, don't barter with a fool. And then when you say that, he's
Woo.
like, oh. He's like, I like that.
I mean,
I like her. That's fine. I'm not. Yes.
I am
And he like steps back. He doesn't say anything else to you guys. He's like, let them up. Yancey, Hartle, Grimgab, Shimble, Johnny Lickerbumble, Jeb, Brett,
Oh, Brett.
Dylan,
There we go.
Alan.
Susan.
Nice. Well, it's important.
Everyone, get level 2 and 3 ready. We're gonna have guests, I think. And then he walks off.
Basically.
And as you guys come up, everyone's like running around. Actually, there aren't a lot of adventurers in here. It's really early in the morning, so a lot of people still sleep. It's not drinking hours. You guys are. It's breakfast hours.
Can drink.
Oh well, I mean everybody drinks all the time. No one's like, let's drink the water here. So you guys get into the. You get into the room, and there are a few people there. They're eating what food's out for breakfast, but most of the people have already set out for their day if they're up this early already. If that makes sense, it's like this isn't
entering the dungeon for the day.
Yeah, there are a handful of people. Honestly, there isn't that much foot traffic in and out of the Undermountain. It's always a spectacle when someone comes up or down. So the people who are in there right now, they chant as like people are being pulled up, and then as they start pulling up the skeletons, they're like.
So scared
no.
now.
And I'm like, you see like half the room just like filters out as more and more, and the skeletons are like, oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat a cow, and they're like, I'm gonna. And they start like walking around, and you can start.
I pep talk them. I'm always telling them to behave.
Yeah, and as you command them, they go from being like little masses of like Sims that are just standing around doing nonsense to like they can be very productive. So then you start ordering them, and all of his hands that were supposed to help him. You see like 2 and 2. You're like. 6 to a room, 2 and 2, and they all like.
Chop, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Run away. Yes, mom. Mom.
Yes, mom.
Yes, mom. Run
Say
away,
hi,
mom.
dearie.
Yeah, they're all Eric Idle.
Well, make sure
Every
you
one
keep
of them
those
is
things
Eric Idle.
reined in.
They're just all chattering at each
You
other.
look
Ah,
They're going to be locked in there.
You never see them. The
Everything's going to be fine.
the screen's always this high because they're all just puppets. They're like, there's no CGI for this sequence except in the big shots. Yeah. Okay, so they all get in their rooms. Did you want to still cast invisibility on a handful of them to take them with you? Because you can do that. You definitely need to cast invisibility.
Two?
You probably should. I'm gonna say you need to at least have cast invisibility on your beholder before you bring it up.
You have a beholder?
Can do.
She has
Yeah.
a zombie
Oh, yeah.
beholder.
Just floating about.
Oh, by the way,
Still, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
He loves
It's
me.
very
Did
slow.
we lose the necromancer's
He
flag?
follows me
No,
everywhere.
you still
but
haven't.
it's just floating behind us, pretty much.
about 20 minutes or so
No,
behind.
once you could use the mage hand to put it inside.
yeah, we
a
did-
bag
we
of
did
holding.
that, we
Yeah,
did that,
it's just
Oh,
about
yeah.
touching it with your hands that's dangerous. So
Okay, invisibility.
We're just like carrying
See, I
it
just want to make sure that
I guess
spin
It's
my
in your
hands.
bag of holding.
I've got it in my bag.
you could. Yeah, that's a good point. You could lose it, or it could be taken from you. So that is a concern. So this would be the time to address that.
I'm literally concerned.
You could take it to a bank if you wanted to.
Could Hallister hold it for us? Not Hallister. Big
Oh, Durnan?
Durnan.
Let's hold on to that thought. We'll work around the room real quick. You want to do anything else with your skeletons in this space, in the yawning portal before we go on?
No, I want to take
Just gonna work around
just
this.
2. I just want to take 2 and cast invisibility on 2 of
Just
them.
2 of them? Yeah.
Mhm.
Then
And the beholder. I want
yeah.
those
So
those
three
things
creatures
to
total.
stay with me.
Yeah, for sure. So
What level spell is that?
it's a 2nd level spell. So you need to cast a 4th level spell to do three
Okay.
creatures.
Cool.
And it's up to an hour, and it's a concentration. So you have to maintain concentration if you get hit.
Okay.
All that jazz.
Okay.
But yeah, you do that, and you beep beep boppity boop, and all 3 of them. Before we even do this whole thing, he's like 29 of them or 28 of them. However many he thinks there are. So he never sees these. You've already kind of retroacted.
Also, just as a warcaster, I have advantage on my saves in order to keep concentration.
That's awesome.
So I'm
That's
more
very cool. So,
likely to keep
yeah,
those dudes with
remember that if they attack or interact with anything that's more than like 5 pounds, they'll become invisible. They'll become
Yeah, yeah.
visible,
Okay.
and if they pick up things, they do not turn invisible with them. It's already
Right.
so things are already
It's
holding,
just
so
them.
they'll just look like they're floating.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Anything in the awning portal you want to do? Any roleplay you need to get done before we head out into the.
No, I'm trying to decide. So for my 18th level thing, I got this Umbral Shadow. That as a bonus action, I just turn into a shadow form.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
I'm resistant to almost all damage. Force and radiant, I'm
That's
not,
awesome.
but I'm resistant to force from my brooch, so just radiant.
So do you see it more as like you go into a shadow
What?
form where you're just like this like blurry mass of
I
like.
kind of see it as like a Peter Pan thing.
Yeah, so
like it's just like a shadow.
So
I
would you
love
just
that.
like ride Meryl's
Oh.
shadow? If we look
Yeah.
down, it's Minerva that's
Yeah.
standing there, and
You're just right,
And I don't
right behind me.
think. I'm gonna double check.
That is the
you should
raddest
draw
shit.
that
It's
time.
pretty cool.
You guys are all so cool.
Just silhouettes,
Pretty
like
cool.
black silhouettes.
We're pretty cool.
Peter Pan style of the sparkle.
Fun.
On like a colored cartoon panel.
It's dope.
That's cute. Oh my god.
Oh, I can only
Other side
do
of
the
the
same
table
that
now.
form for
Shit.
1 minute, so I'm gonna wait on that actually.
Gotcha.
Here. Move
All
those
that
around
through.
that way.
1 minute, but you can do it as much as you want to.
Yep, it just costs
Ah!
mana
Sorcery.
points.
Oh, cool.
And you don't have
And I
very
can
many of
move.
those.
I can move through creatures and objects.
Mhm.
I just shouldn't end my turn there because I take some damage.
That's cool.
That's stupid.
You're a total shadow.
Yeah, it's just a bonus action. I can do
Those
it
are
in
delicious.
combat or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's fucking
Mhm.
stupid.
Amazing.
Yep.
Those are so good. I want
You guys all
more.
got
Sorry.
We're sneaky as hell.
No, I knew
Get
that
that
would be.
spooky shit.
Yeah, we got that
Where's
spooky
macadamia?
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Actually, Meryl
Are you
doesn't
allergic
need to
or
be
something?
sneaky. She's
No, I
very
love
good. Far too big to be
You're
sneaky.
so good.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
There's a dog under
Sorry
there.
for
All right.
cutting.
So, very cool. But you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I thought it could last.
no, that's cool. That's cool. So you're posting up, and you can with your other magic, you can kind of still have that like representation of like.
Can't you still shift into any like shadow animal form?
No, we ruled it as finding a familiar. I got find a familiar and
Yeah.
bring a creature.
Sorry.
I
But I
do
also
miss
have
that
my
dear
shadow
kitty.
But
But
kind of like pet.
I did
pet.
kind of like have like a little, side note, plan about like whenever we do deal with Maven, having the find familiar as the cat come around,
Mhm.
because she
Awesome.
just heard
Mhm.
that I'm a human again. I don't think she saw.
No, she has not seen.
Yeah, so like
Mhm.
Cool.
So you can
You
hide
can
in the
trick
shadow and pretend that the cat is you.
You could trick her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good plan.
Love it.
And honestly, if you want to, you can do that all the time because if I'm familiar, you can summon that shadow cat right now. All your
well, she's the only one that really knew me. Is that?
no, I know, but just for flavor, remember that your familiar when it's out, you can deliver touch spells
Oh yeah.
through it. So it would make sense for you to always have your cat with you, maybe.
Yeah.
What can you
Aren't
do
you
in your
invisible in
shadow?
shadows? Don't you invisible
I
in
can walk
shadows?
between shadows.
Yeah. So you should have it ready because it's useful.
Yeah.
I mean even if you don't play into it all the time.
No,
What
yeah.
can
I'll
you
just have
do
the.
from your shadow form? Can you
I'll
like
keep
cast
it a cat.
spells?
Huh?
Yeah, she can do all the things. She just turns into
Are you
a.
talking about that 18th level
Awesome.
thing I was
Mhm.
Yeah.
talking about? I can do anything.
Yeah.
You're still totally
You're just
capable of all your
resistant
shit.
to you're resistant to a lot of
You're
damage
just
or,
also
or
a shadow.
invulnerable to a lot of damage.
Resistant.
Yeah.
To all damage except force and radiant, but I am resistant to force from the brooch I have, so just
Yeah.
radiant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can move through creatures and objects, even if they're difficult, or as if they're difficult terrain. I take 5 force damage if I end a turn inside of an object.
Dope.
That is so cool.
That's so.
And I say in that form for 1
stupid.
minute, so I can beat like a whole battle. I can beat.
Cool.
Mhm.
Because it's just a bonus action.
Yep.
That's
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
Well, then let's say you can do both. Let's say like when you want to, you can do it as a role play style. And you can in turns jumping into shadows. I'll let you do.
Yeah.
Like a free hide check just for fun if you're
Dope.
role playing it up.
Yeah, it's something else that lets me walk between shadows.
Mhm.
That shadow walk specifically, actually. It's a
Yeah,
bonus
okay.
action. I can magically teleport 120 feet from
Whoa.
unoccupied space to
Yeah,
unoccupied
you're just
space.
walking through shadows. Cool.
It doesn't have to be complete darkness. It can be dim light shadows.
Neat.
That's so
Very cool. Anything you want to do in the awning portal while you're here?
no.
Jordan, pours you all drinks. The house is pretty much cleared out.
Does he notice that I'm dressed exactly like him?
Yeah, actually, he gives you a knowing wink and lets you know that this one's on the house. Even though you just paid him so much gold.
Yeah.
Who paid him, by the way?
How much was it? Did we end on?
I think 1,000.
She coerced it, right?
I'll pay him 1,000 gold.
Cool.
Thank-
So
Thank you.
it's like you got to run the place. You scared everyone else out. But he's made more money today than he makes in
A week.
weeks. A week. So he's
Excellent.
like, whatever, that's fine.
You
They'll
just
be back.
You just get the break, right?
Yeah, he's like, they'll be back. Yeah, and he does that. He sits down. He's like, no, they'll take care of themselves. He's actually very pleased. He thinks this is a fine arrangement. Let's see.
Things
Jimmy, you wanted to do something, right?
I was thinking about going to the Xanathars and getting the rest of that silver.
I'll go with you to do that.
Isn't there shit there?
Well, is there anything you want to do in the yawning portal? Because we can go.
Oh, no.
We can go do that before
Sorry,
we head to the. No, we can do that before we head to Shadowfell. Yeah. I thought I had put the kibosh on something.
Can we rest here in the yawning portal?
Not the terms and conditions.
The
you
necromancer's phylactery.
you just,
we need to do something with that.
You
We
just.
definitely
Right.
need to do
Yeah.
something.
Can I talk to him again?
We should not take
He
that
says they keep you for the whole night. He says, ugh, that's gonna scare. Like you scared off all his patrons.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I
That's
think
right.
we go
Yeah.
wild.
So he's like, I can. You have the gold. So if you really want it, you can
Right.
do it, no problem. It's just gonna cost you a pretty
Right.
penny. He's like basically you've the established rate of, we'll
Kill
say
Macus.
It's Mac. I mean, it's Mac. It's
1,000 gold every 4 hours.
You take his ring. You take his
Okay.
ring.
Mac
With
is
a
big, though. Max
500
and
gold
Alter
discount
Deep.
because we're such good patrons.
He says, you know,
Back.
you scare me, but you're really pushing me here. He says, I appreciate your need, but you seem to be doing fine. He says, I tell you what, I'll just throw in free rope rides. He says you never have to pay to go into the mountain again. Premium membership for all of you.
Thank you.
So how much would that put our total at?
If you wanted to do a full 24 hours of holding all these skeletons here.
Well, I mean, I guess we don't
We just
need to. 24 hours would be 8 hours of sleep, but however
Do an
many
8-hour
hours
long
per
rest.
adventure.
Yeah. Okay. So you would just need to give him another $1,000, and you guys could take a very quick long rest, I suppose. Just has to be.
And go about.
Well, you're not gonna be able to get a full 8 hours, and you've already talked to him, and you're doing stuff.
Right.
You're gonna have to pay another $2,000 and get like another 8-hour block.
Do you guys want to do that?
Get a long rest.
Get a long rest.
Here's a question
What do you-
concerning this: is that if I choose to stay up for this amount of time, I can switch out one of my spell mastery spells. If I get rid of animate dead, does that mean that these things go away, or do they stay? Do
Do you
these
need to
skeletons
reanimate
stay?
again?
Didn't you use spell
That's what-
slots to cast reanimate or cast animate dead?
No, now I casted it. Oh no, I did so that I could cast
So then it shouldn't matter.
all of them,
You can cast.
or as many as I did.
Yeah, you have to cast it on them every day to maintain control over
Okay.
them. But you can cast it at any level you want to. So if you want to change it from animate dead, you can. But I also didn't expect you to just like grab 30 zombies. You're not going to be in a position to do that a lot. So
Right. That's
So,
kind of why
animate-
I wanted to.
I'm just saying, but animate dead would probably still be a pretty useful because
Cantrip to have.
well, if you're only going to take 2 with you
Yeah.
to wherever you're going,
You want
Right.
to grab more while you're there.
being able
Sure.
to
How about this? Let me take 5.
What?
Fuck the rest.
And the skeletons.
you're just going to get rid of all of them. You just paid all this gold.
We just spent 20 minutes
I
doing the
thought-
whole thing.
No, okay. I thought we were trying to. I'm sorry. I got confused then.
No, everything's fine.
We are negotiating with him if we're gonna sleep here or not. And
Didn't you guys just take a
Just
long?
okay.
Yeah, before the session, it was cool that you taking a long rest. So I don't know what you guys have done.
Yeah, do we need a
Yeah,
long
I don't know why
rest?
you need a
I
long
thought
rest.
We
I thought
leveled
we were
up
good.
and long rest.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, no.
That's
I was just
fine.
thinking. No, you're fine.
Yeah, with our level up, we did.
In between
I was saying
sessions,
you-
I'm ruling that there was plenty. You guys could have used the
Then I'm
fortress.
fine. I don't
Okay.
need to rest.
Sorry about
Perfect.
that. I was thinking.
Yeah, we're fine.
We had to negotiate.
I was just being a smartass.
Okay.
I was just being a smartass. I'm sorry.
Then let's
Yes, you were.
let's deal with the going to the bank
Phylactery.
with the phylactery,
Phylactery.
and let's
Yeah.
deal with Xanathar's hideout. I promise you there'll be quick little doodads, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll dive
Do it.
into the Shadowfell. I don't know if we'll be able to finish everything for the Shadowfell tonight. Maybe we'll have to end on a cool cliffhanger, but that's fine. That's how the game goes. Or if you guys are into it.
Yeah, because he does have work at 5:30.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Cool.
Cool.
Sunny side.
So you guys,
Sunny side diner, bro. Right?
yeah.
Cool.
Did you share all this? Why don't you dox him online, Tara?
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
We're gonna find you,
We're gonna
man.
find you and we're gonna eat pancakes from you. I will eat pancakes from you, bitch.
That restaurant sounds good.
It's fun.
He was already coming
It's
eating
yummy.
there with me.
It is good.
Dude, their food's so good.
It's
The
delicious.
chicken fried chicken with the gravy.
Will you guys stop giving free advertisement, sir? I'm
I
into
like the blueberry pancakes myself.
funny side. That's funny. Funny side is what I feel like. So, yeah. So you guys, let's say that who wants to go? He made a very good point. Dell's like, well, you can't just carry this thing around all the time. Like,
I'm like, look at this thing, guys. You
like
can't carry this
it
around.
almost killed me. Like,
I'm not touching it. I'm showing you.
yeah,
It's like-
showing
The
you.
book?
No, the Witch's
Black
Black
Ring.
Ring.
Oh.
Oh.
We should take it to the Black Tower.
What for?
The wizards there might try to take it away from you.
They-
is what,
they want that.
is what Mara would immediately like say. You would just know that you would not.
No!
You wouldn't want that to go because right now it's a bargaining chip, and if you show it to them, they will take it off your hands. So that's a good
cannot let
plan,
this
and
get
that's
out
like
of our
that's what the
hands.
hero would say. The hero would say like,
Yeah.
let's just get it to let's just take it to the hero. Let's
That's
take the
what
wizards.
it's like. That's
Yeah.
where it goes.
And
No.
instead,
It belongs in a
Hands.
museum.
And,
instead,
like, ties his
instead.
bag.
Durnan, who's kind of like laughing at you, like he's like, "You damn, you went all the way down there, huh?" Like he's also been all the way down there. You know what I mean? He's also met as at the Lich. He says,
That's where I got
he
his
says, "You,
clothes.
yeah," and he's like, "And you've got that." He's like, "You are a remarkable lot." He says, "What do you call
Yeah,
yourselves?"
We are
The
grave.
Braveheart.
The Graveheart.
Grave.
If I remember
Hearts.
correctly.
Grave.
And we bust into a musical number.
Hearts. Or that.
So
Force pose.
Are you the drummer?
Yeah, sure.
so he's like, "Oh, that's
We can both
that's
go
very
left and
interesting."
squat.
He says, "You might want to take it to the brass bank." He says that there's a very special teller there who might be able to hold it for you. He says that's where I keep all of my more sensitive things that I've found deep inside. I wouldn't keep them on my person. I wouldn't feel safe about it. Not even in my own tap house. Some things are just too valuable, too dangerous to be left out in the open.
Target.
Exactly. Although I'd
sounds
like
good
to
me.
see anyone come in here and take me.
I laugh and like
Yeah.
exactly like this.
He's just guessed on. Oh, it's fine. I'm good. Cool. So you guys, if you guys head to the bank, it's not a traditional bank, and you actually have to. He says you'll have to leave the city. He says it's located in the island south of the harbor. He says you can take a ferry there if you want. And we can honestly, if you're down to go there, it's just like you guys. We just can smash you a cut.
Can we
If
all
you-
fly?
We can all just fly, right?
Not around the city. You can't. That's going to be a big no.
Fly.
Oh.
I can get on my
You're
boat
you
and I'll
you
see
can't.
you that
You would have to
far.
leave this. You can fly like around the city. Like you can fly in the district. God damn it! But yeah, but you can't fly.
Immediate disdain.
You can't fly ward to ward. You can't go over their checkpoints, and you can't fly outside of the city.
That would be alarming.
Yeah, the city. Well, the city guard will. The city guard will.
But shoot us down.
They have griffins,
Yeah.
and they'll come hunt you. Yeah. You don't want to do that.
You're such a nerd. You're like, huh, you do not want to do that.
No.
That is a bad idea. I
That's
read
a
that.
bad
book.
idea,
No way.
Your character.
Your emotional display as you described that.
Your
as
character
well.
thinks that's
Fuck.
ridiculous, man. Your character's like, really? That's a silly thought. I'm not getting killed.
All right, so we probably gotta get. Like,
So if you guys take
horses and stuff.
If you guys take the ferry, you just go down the
Ferry,
dock
yeah.
ward, and there is a ferryman there. Durnan hands you a brass coin. He says, "Take this to the ferryman at the dock." He says, and they'll take you to the bank, and hand you the coin, and you guys get there, and it's just a person, just a half elf, with soft blue hair and violet eyes. She's in her 40s or 50s, and you can tell that she just watches over the boats that are here. It's a very nondescript little boat. She pulls a canvas off of it, and you give her the coin, and you can tell the coin isn't pavement. It's like a token of like, I'm allowed to go to this place. You guys get on the boat, and the boat, without a master, just very quickly too, just like a little schooner. Just takes you off to these islands that are maybe about an hour or two away, hour and a half away. When you get to break past a line of mist and cloud, you see situated and nestled in this almost like horseshoe shape, this giant edifice, the structure of a brass dragon that is kind of curled up like around the rock, and there is between its legs is this giant opening with torches, and the boat just it just takes you inside, and when you get inside, it stops right next to these steps that go down into the water, and you guys can just walk up into this area, and you're face to face with it's just a giant dragon horde, and it's a brass dragon, and it kind of, as you come in, he kind of perks up, and he's just laying on all the treasures and the gold that he protects here.
Not your traditional bank.
Yeah. And he says, hello, hail travelers. I don't like that voice at all. He says, hail travelers. He just like he just kind of like snarls, but like maybe it's a grin. It's a big dragon. You know what I mean?
Little disdain.
Maybe it's big and throaty and down here. Yes, that's good. He's like, come closer. Let us treat. And there's just this like, this sounds perfect. It's just like this there's like the splash of the water, and there's this big, like a big cat. He's just laying on top, and his fingers are spreading through the gold and the magic items and just all this shit. Like you're if you're casting like detect magic and shit, this whole room's like going off like Chernobyl.
Can I investigate? Do I see anything just out of the like corner of my eye that I recognize?
So much graphite.
What's that?
So
Do
much
I
graphite.
see any items just that I recognize right off the bat?
Yeah. There's easily like a low level staff of the Magi. There's you see. I mean, it's a whole Dungeon Master's guide of stuff.
Goodies.
Goodies that are.
Del like sticks his
I can
hands in
move
his
them with
pockets.
telekinesis.
Of course he does.
He says, I am Cain. Who are you?
We are the Gravehearts.
Ah, yes. The Delver's Deep. Why have you come to my bank, little children?
We have something very important and very dangerous we need you to hold for us.
He kind of gets close, his giant head zooming in close to you, Sayla. Like inhaling and exhaling.
Yeah, it's like, no, she doesn't flinch.
She doesn't you are sturdy like the mountain. And his eyes glow.
What's happening? What is happening?
Marley just came up and licked him. Very intimate.
Nice.
Right on the dick.
Hey,
No, dick lick.
The dick's not out. It was like over the
This is
head.
officially
Right.
not a kid show.
It's out.
It's officially not a kid show.
It's
Oh, God.
You chill. Keep your time to yourself.
I'm so sorry. That was such a good moment.
Yeah, and as your shadow cat runs between Sayla's legs, and the dragon giggles as he says, "Oh, I do love animals," and he kind of gets closer, and but this one is awful. He says, why are you here?
I already. We have something dangerous. And
Yeah.
Del's not paying attention.
You've told him your general quest, but you haven't showed him the item yet.
Oh, will you mage hand the?
Del's
The
Roll
inspecting.
a perception.
Roll perception.
Yeah. Is the mage hand? It's not holding it right now. Can
No,
it?
you
It's
have to mage hand
inside.
it out
It's
of
inside
his-
Dell's bag of holding, and you
I'll
have to
grab
use
it.
your mage hand to grab it. And,
I'll grab it and
So
I'll
you-
pull it out. I'll show him.
what'd you roll?
Just like
28.
this.
You see, there's a set of like right on top of a column that's kind of tucked out next to a large, like you can tell it's a mirror with a curtain on it.
Jesus Christ.
Back behind, it's just like kind of perfectly out of sight. There's a leather bracer inlaid with a bright ruby gemstone that's easily the size of your whole forearm. It's this awesome, and it's got these like big leather straps on it, and then you're just looking at it and you're like that looks badass. It's not. I think it's purely like that looks cool. It's nothing more than this little grumbly voice for your little cute person is. It's my favorite. That's sick. I'm sorry. So what was happening over here? You pull out. Yeah. To bring such evil before me. Who sent you?
Sent us.
No one governs us.
We send ourselves.
We make our own decisions.
Say the
Alistair.
barkeep.
It sounds stupid. I say,
I
Alistair.
suppose I shall have to eat you all.
I say, Alistair himself sent us.
He growls
That's
when you
what
say
I-
shh, and he rears up.
Durnan sent us!
Of course he did. You watch your tongue, young lady.
How many times has Durnan been here?
Ah, too many. And he looks back and he says, half of the shit in the back's his.
Oh my god.
And he says, but it's mine now. And he rolls his back down, like a cat, kind of pawing out all the gold. Rolling forward towards you. Some of it, like the coins, right up to your feet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not at all concerned that you would touch his gold.
Yeah.
Now, your knowledge of dragons being such, he is a metallic dragon, so he is a good dragon. But all that means in our settings is that his inclination is to not eat you on first sight. It doesn't necessarily mean anything about his demeanor. I don't really like
His
the
temperament, yeah.
personality traits. I like that every dragon is special and unique.
Yeah.
I am Cain.
They're individuals.
Well,
He says, I am the banker of Waterdeep. Well, I was the banker of Dragon's Deep, but that's a different story. So,
We have
it's like,
something here to
yeah.
protect
So
us.
you hand that to him. He says, "You give this to me freely."
To store?
Aye, to store my hoard with my protection.
And we can pick up upon return?
And yes, of course.
insight.
I would.
Roll
I
an
just.
insight.
I can't be lied to now.
Oh.
Right. What are you getting over
He's
here?
not lying.
I know he's not.
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah,
Does he want something in return?
of course.
What?
What do you have in mind?
What do you have?
Money?
Not souls or anything
What does it
like
look
that.
like he likes hoarding?
I have so much money.
Yeah.
What do I need money for? I can
Can I
never
borrow
leave this
that?
goddamn cave.
What if I give him the beholder?
Can I borrow that?
He looks at it. You're talking about
What is that?
it says it belonged to a drow fellow, some ranger.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
Never mind. Sorry.
Drizzt?
Can you just wait
Wait.
until we're done?
Wait.
Wait, what?
What about a beholder? Would
Wait.
you like a beholder?
Wait, hold on.
You reveal them.
Yeah, my zombie beholder.
No, Scott, would you stop?
Ooh, okay.
Have your beholder make a dex save.
Oh, man.
What about this? What about that? Oh shit. Whoopsie daisy. Ooh.
Not going well.
Wait,
Really not.
We're gonna have to save.
I haven't
Really not
interacted
going
with
great.
anyone outside of the Undermountain in ages. I feel very out of place here.
I am exactly the kind of creature you find in the Undermountain.
Oh
You
yeah.
goof.
You're good.
You
That's
goof.
exactly what would
Wait, a dex.
Dex save
Okay.
as
We show
Hold
him
on.
respect.
There it is.
He's a person.
Oops. What about the beholder? 13.
all right.
Flame on.
Well.
Well.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna fight this fucking dragon.
Wait a
We
minute.
can't fight. I don't want to fight this
we're going
dragon.
to run.
I thought we were gonna like deal with him. Like not
No, that's what I
fight.
mean. I don't know. He's grabbing a lot of D6s.
He's just killing the
beholder.
beholder for
This is
fun.
for respect.
This is just my right.
You popped it out.
I'm about to learn a very important lesson.
Dragons and monsters are not friends.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, if you just summoned a beholder, you know, out of
Thought
nowhere,
maybe
I'd
he
be
might
what the
like to
fuck?
control it.
Meanwhile, no one sees what I'm doing right now.
You're rolling so many
Re-rolling
dice.
damage thing.
The sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why did you
That's
He's
beautiful.
empowering his spell.
Jesus Christ.
I hope I just lose the beholder.
Probably lose your eyebrows too. Is it chemistry experiment gone wrong?
I feel like Meryl probably just started shooting out things that she finds valuable. You know?
What about this? Would you like that?
I have wares.
Would you want a boat?
Your beholder fails. He takes 93 points of fire damage as a wall of fire moves past all of you. The fire bends and weaves out of the way, completely unaffecting you,
So is it careful.
and completely charring your.
He's like a sorcerer.
How many hit points do you
He
have?
has 93 hit points exactly.
Careful to protect
Really?
us and
Yeah, he has
empowered to
93
reroll
hit points
damage.
exactly.
That's insane.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
That's
He's
crazy.
dead.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
He's never taken damage.
I
before.
tell you what. I will let you. I'll let you just. That's so crazy. Roll a d4. We'll see how.
Can I raise
How many
him
hit
back
points do we have?
somehow?
No, you.
93
They
exactly.
can't gain.
Really?
There are special magical items that can like have effects that can heal zombies, but not. There's no like magic effect. You.
4.
All right, cool. He has exact. Oh no, he's a zombie though. So
Yeah.
he
What?
he would never make that save. That's just funny. He has 1 HP left.
Okay, great.
He takes 1 hit. He's dead. But
Oh, wait.
they have the undead.
If-
They have the undead fortitude, but
It must take. Sorry.
it's a save equal to the damage he was dealt. There's no way he can roll a 93.
Yeah.
If damage reduces a zombie to 0 hit points, it must make a con save with the DC of 5 plus the damage taken. I gotcha. I see. Cool. Okay, so he's down to 1 baby hit point.
Yeah.
He's lying on the ground.
And how many eye stalks does he have? How many attacks? 4, 6.
4.
Roll a d4.
1.
What's the number 1?
Paralyzing.
He no
right?
longer has that eye stalk anymore. Actually, I feel like in third Pathfinder, you could cast inflict wound. You could a cleric could use negative energy to heal zombies. So you can cast inflict wounds on zombies to heal them. I'm gonna make that a house rule.
Cool.
I like that.
That's
I'm
dope.
here for that.
Great.
Because if you were if you were an evil paladin, I would let you use your lay of hands. If you channeled negative energy as a paladin, I'd let you use your lay of hands on a zombie. You know what I mean?
Before that happens, though, I'm gonna cast invisibility on him one more time. Now that he's at 0 hit points.
Oh, after. he
Yeah,
takes the
now that
damage.
he's hurt.
Yeah,
he
you like kind of. He,
takes him back again.
he's missing most of almost all of
Learned
his
a
mouth.
lesson.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I should lose number 1 if you said lose number 1. He just has a disintegration ray, and I can already disintegrate things.
No, it's random.
That's fine. That's what I said.
Fate decides.
Fate decides.
The dice decide. Okay, so.
So about that thing?
Yes, about that
That.
thing.
What is that?
says you want to keep it, so you
Borrow
bring it to me.
What is it?
And I want to keep it. I'm not sure I do. It says it's evil. It's vile.
I'm gonna give him, or I'm gonna offer up to give him the dodecahedron thing that I have that does different.
Nah.
No.
A trinket. A trifle. I want it. But
I
not for
want
this.
it.
Yeah, but not for this. These are not equal.
Not enough.
You know that. Looking around, kind of coyly. He's.
Like a cat snake.
Yeah. Cat snake. That's the best way to describe him. He says, it is an endeavor. He says, you must do something for me. Find me the staff of
Benezer.
Ebenezer Scrooge. He says, I will hold it for you. He says, but in order to receive it back, I require a specific payment. I require the dragon staff of Agaron.
Agamemnon?
Agamemnon.
No.
No.
That's no. No. Not that.
You're talking about. He says,
No.
with it I could enter dragon. He says, with it I could enter Waterdeep again, and I can see people.
Very lonely.
Sounds nice. I do think that
Who would
sounds
watch your
nice.
horde if you were in Waterdeep?
What? Oh,
You're an excellent candidate, Dell.
I'm sure somebody would, or perhaps I'll just use one of my many magic items. I don't know. Not your concern. Don't care.
Don't care. Not
Rolls
important.
around on his back.
Yeah.
Look at my belly.
belly.
Look at my belly.
Look at my.
Don't touch it.
Don't.
Because he's a cat.
Because he's a cat.
And that's Kane. That's Kane's payment. So you're gonna have to get the dragon staff of Agaron.
Agaron.
It's from
I got
Waterdeep.
it.
Remember at the climax of Dragon Heist, you met the dragon who was guarding the vault, and in that vault he was a gold dragon, and he had the staff of and it allows him to move freely through. So it's certainly not nefarious that these Goodline dragons want. This place used to be like they used to worship dragons here. He said he's saying this to you. He's like in the Version Square, the Dock War, they used to sacrifice versions to the blood dragons. Like he's like, this used to be a place where dragons were born. This is the knot in the weave is specifically like where dragons come from. So he says, I just wish to return back, and I wish to be among the people that I protected for so long. But that's a pretty high price. You'll have to find it. You'll have to fight another dragon for it. You'll have to convince him of something, and it does put you a step further away from like.
Yes, I don't have time for this.
But
shit.
it will be. I will tell you out of game. It will be 100% safe here.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose the phylactery.
Just leave
Okay.
it. We're good. Settled. Thanks.
And like, as it might be able to find out it's here, but he's not going to attack it by himself. And you probably wouldn't have to worry about it unless you guys were able to foil Hallister. You know, because he's a plotter and a planner. He's a lich. He's like, I got all the time in the world. So if there was a moment in which he could leave his domain and not have to worry about Hallister keeping him from being there, he would seize it. So, and if he did come up, it would be in danger. I mean, it would be a lich versus an ancient brass dragon. So, I mean, it would be a badass fight. Oh god, it'd be so cool.
It would be so cool.
That would be cool.
Wonder
That
what
would
I
be
need.
dope. I would
I
sit
wonder how to
spectator
get
to
that
that.
Drizzt thing.
I would
Which is
spectator
pretty
do
sick.
that.
All right, so we cut back to you guys getting back to the city. If you want to.
I don't think I
You see how like closely he's listening. We're not stealing that. Let's just go.
You can't steal things without me knowing about them.
No, yeah, that's the point.
That's true. But also, didn't you just like come back from madness?
Right?
No,
I've got a new lease on life.
no.
Stealing things from dragons, but it's like dangerous, right? You get like.
That's
dragon-
literally what
That's
happened
how
at the
you
very
die.
beginning
That's
of our
how you
adventure.
Your
I mean,
skills
it's
should be put to other use.
I don't think it's out of your nature. I don't think that I think that you've been that
He's
way
totally
since the beginning.
interested in it, and he's not gonna do it.
You
but-
feel
He's like, did you hear him say
you might feel empowered. I mean, I wanted your character to have kind of a rebirth thing, you know. So it's like
totally. No,
but
he
maybe-
is empowered. He's empowered to turn
to turn it down.
to ignore his
Makes-
baser.
Well, I've made him angry already. I would think twice
Cool.
about that.
I didn't make him angry.
We cut back to if you guys have any other interactions with Kane before we leave.
Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry. Sorry I scared
I
you.
overreacted.
We'll talk more about that Drizzt thing.
It's been a long
Sorry,
time.
I scared you. Is
Yeah.
what she says.
And he's like, it's all right.
It's fine.
Fine. Just
I
fine.
didn't do anything bad. I just scared him.
Poor guy, he's scared of beholders.
I want to ask the dragon stuff that he might know about, like Halleck, or I mean not Halleck, but
Hallister.
Hallister.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
You are.
If you want to
Alec.
say his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, sorry.
Roll it.
Hallister.
Roll a persuasion.
If you want to say his name.
Okay. 18. If it's an intimidation, it's
Sorry, buddy.
24.
Intimidation?
Yeah.
You want to intimidate this guy?
No.
No.
No, it's just persuasion.
I mean, you're an angel. You might.
Yeah.
If you want to be, I mean, I think that would not be out of character, but you may not win it.
No, I wouldn't. That's not. Just persuasion.
Okay.
But yeah,
What was it?
it was 18.
He says,
I mean, we're talking to him cordially.
yeah, he doesn't, but as you saw earlier, he doesn't like carrying Hallister's name.
Yeah.
So, the only thing you can get from him is that Kane has personal umbrage with Hallister. He doesn't just dislike him because of bad guy. He dislikes him because of payment not received, because of
there was a personal endeavor that was breached. Or,
or Hallister stole something from him, something like that. So, this would be a question you can ask Hallister now next time you see him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, we cut to you back in Waterdeep. You make your way back up to the castle ward, where you're the entrance to the sewers that lead to Xanathar's hideout. That's where you guys want to go next, right?
Yep.
When you get there, remember the last time we were there? There were lots of what are they called? Mind's eyes, or anyways, there was a beholder, mind flayer things that were like psychic hubs.
Yeah.
There were tons. There was mind flayers. It was none of that. You guys get back. There are Xanathar's guild people like hiding out. When you approach them, they kind of have their lanterns and they're looking down, and you give them the signal that you know is like the signal of passage. One of them looks at the other. It's a human and a bugbear. The human looks at the bugbear and says, "Stand down, Mick." He says, "That's the boss's sister." And with that, they lead you guys all in to Xanathar's hideout, which is now fully populated again. And you're walking past like different types of bad guys and like mercenaries, and they were all kind of giving you the one over. But you're all kind of like
we don't
badasses.
give a fuck
yeah,
about
exactly.
these guys.
So they're all kind of like
Fuck them.
and they all react to that. They're all like,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like keep going. So as you guys are walking through these
What are you looking at?
these tunnels, you're led.
Literal
You're
commoners.
you're led
by
back
the way.
into Xanathar's main chamber,
Even
which is a
you,
big
it's
rolling door. It's open,
Swipe 'em.
and sitting behind his once Xanthar had this huge round desk that he would float behind and do his machinations or whatever. Sitting in a chair with his legs up, and he goes, "Well met, sister."
Okay, now I know for a fact. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sidebar.
Out again.
This is not actually Macus. This is.
This is a Macus's
Yeah,
body
We all
with
know that.
a intellect devourer inside of it.
Okay. Would I have any? Okay, never mind. All right, cool. Very good. Yes, brother. Hello. How are you?
You want to? He says I'm glad to see you, sister. He says you look well. And he comes up and he gives you a big like one of those big heroes like arm clasp hug things.
Yeah, for sure.
And claps you. He says you are changed. You seem at peace. And he like looks at you like your brother would. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah.
very weird moment. Roll an insight for me.
Use a hero point.
I will have a hero point.
I'm
Use
so
another
bad at
hero
rolling.
point. Eat some snacks.
If you practice, you can do better.
You would think I practice so much though.
This takes practice.
Tara. It's 21.
It seems genuine.
Yeah.
But you can see that, remember, he's still wearing the ring of the Xanathar.
Yeah.
And his mind, like the way he's talking to you, he kind of flips in and out of things. He's not talking like Macus. But his intentions seem genuine.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna.
he's starting to form a different personality.
As I hug him, I'm gonna like pull him in and hug him. I'm gonna look over at you, and as I'm like hugging back, I guess I'm gonna look at you and be like,
To his ring.
to, yeah, like to
That's
say,
awesome.
like,
Just for context, you know that the exterminator has Macus's essence stored in the minds of those mind flayers on level 17 of the Undermountain.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna.
Yeah, just
Can I take the ring? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah.
You can do
what was
it.
that?
Achoo!
Oh, bless you. That's right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean, ultimately, we could also just bully.
He says, "What brings you into our what brings you back to our domain?" He says, "Remember, sister, that I'm doing this all for you, so we can have the rightful rulership that we were denied."
I don't really care about that anymore.
I don't really care.
This genuinely disturbs him. He's like,
Marley.
What were you doing with the Sigma Stone?
Get out of there. You have
Last
this.
time we were here, what were you doing with the Sigma Stone? We went into the vault to get it. We went and got it. We gave it to you. What'd you do with it?
Go down.
I told you, it's for our plan. But if you've gone back and you don't think we should conquer
What
these
changed?
people,
Did anything change here?
well, I obviously reinstated the Xanathar. Everyone believes that the Beholder has come back from life. I've got them believing him. They think I'm the Xanathar, and all the people here, I'm able to compel them with the help of that mind flayer.
Which mind flayer?
Orvo, I think was
Where's
his name. He says, he's out about town. He's
I'd like to have, very much like to have a talk with him. Could he come back here?
I will recall him for you.
Thank you.
He says, I will, and he's like, I'll send a paper bird right away.
Okay, thank you. I'd love to have a chat with him. Right? Wouldn't we? That
Yes.
sounds like
Oh,
a
yes,
good thing
of
to do.
course.
So he goes and he writes the paper bird, and he snaps his fingers, and wine and fine roasted meats are brought in, and he starts regaling you with stories of all the fun exploits. He's like, this is the best. He's like, not since our family was shamed have you seen such splendor and grandeur. He says, I have the entire family. He says, the entire family living in a mansion. I took them out of the.
You've talked to our family? You've interacted with them?
Yes, they live like kings
Is
now.
okay, hold on. Pause real quick. Is Sailor right in thinking that this is weird? This thing that lives inside Max's brain is been close to her family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that's creepy AF, bud.
I'm gonna just let you know that she's gonna.
It's like a pod person
Well, yeah,
situation.
about to have a freak out.
Do go on.
You don't need to talk to our family ever again. Because remember, you still did some very evil things, Macus.
No.
And you never made amends to them.
Yeah, but we did what we did. You have too. He says, but what we did in the name of
And
our
then
family.
I'm like, swat his hand. I'm like, don't touch me.
He's like, what has gotten into you, sister? I don't like what has become of you. Where's the fierce warrior that I saw that left
And
to
I
conquer the
she'll
Undermountain?
stand up and kick her seat back and scream in his face. I'll show you the fierce warrior, and she'll roll an intimidation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it!
You got one you can have, my friend.
What the? Can I use your halfling feature? Thank you. There we go. 28.
And he rolled a 6.
Wins
He's-
some, you lose some.
You're trying to intimidate him to what end?
No.
I don't know.
Just so like for him to grovel and say he'll never see the family again.
I don't know.
or
I just
It
want
sounds
to.
like you're kind of just reacting.
Yeah, I'm just reacting.
just knocking him off
Yeah.
count. Yeah.
Just-
When you do that, he doesn't flip a switch, cast a spell. You knock him back with the shield. The shield is frustrated. I can't see his mind loss.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
And so you just I don't think you hit him, but I think you just push him, and he just falls back. He is taken so aback.
As he falls back, I do a sleight of hand check to try to still recover.
there it is.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you. That's what I was waiting on.
Go ahead and roll that.
I'm
Roll
just
that
sitting
slide.
over here waiting on you to
Like you're gonna grab his hand.
I already told you to take it.
I
Just
know.
take it.
I was just looking around.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Is that a 1 or a 7?
That's a 7.
That's a 1.
No, yeah, that is a 1. Well, it's advantage, right?
Did you say disadvantage? It's advantage. Or it would
Why do you get advantage?
I don't know why you would get advantage.
Oh, because he shoved him.
Let's roll a sleight of hand.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta take the shot, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't have.
Yeah, you roll a real nice
that's it.
intimidation. What else is that for? For sure.
Perfect.
Why else would you do?
33.
That'll do,
Snatch.
little donkey.
Swings. Scoop.
I don't think I can beat a 33. Scoop
I'd like to see you try. My little pretty.
Bless.
Hachu!
Hachu!
Had swift hands.
Our Wiedersehen, Hachu.
Like way too physically. Like,
Whoop.
Where the
Oh, that's
fuck is Xanathor's guide in this thing? Oh, Xanathor himself. There we go.
stat sheet.
Symptom. Treasure. Where's Xanathor? Damn it.
You sleep, babe.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Sprite is full.
That's good.
It's true.
I'm.
You are literally the only
One
cause
it could be.
for this. You are the only reason that she is feeling the way she is. So,
You've made me sick for months.
how does that make you feel?
That shit. You
Empowered
like
enough
that?
to be a father?
Bear.
Good.
You like that?
Happy fucking Father's Day.
Wow.
Okay.
We feel
Yeah,
the
he definitely
opposite
grabbed the
Wallace
ring
is.
off his
That's
hand.
why it's funny.
And he definitely does not notice.
Does the ring do something to me?
It does not like zap you or do any of the things that have been happening to you this entire
I know. That's like
Nothing happens.
Am
like
I
that.
about to die?
Do I turn into the Xanathar?
You turn into a goldfish.
You
That would be very funny.
That
if
would
that's
be
what-
very funny.
But that does not happen. I'm just trying to find.
Just
Corn, bro.
like flopping.
Xanathar just maybe it's in his stat block.
Shattered your hopes. Like after,
I feel like
after
this
that whole
crew is
debacle.
least likely to play a druid.
Huh?
I feel like this crew is least likely
That's
to
that's
I-
Kalen's.
Kalen's
Kalen's
favorite.
That's Caelan's
Yeah.
name. It's Caelan's
I mean,
name.
really, it's Lawrence.
That's
Yeah.
Lauren's true.
Yeah.
If we're
That's
to
their
be
jam.
honest.
True.
I think Lauren was
Xanathar.
Played a
playing-
shapeshifter.
He has the
Okay.
ring of.
Oh, that's why I said this crew at this table.
Yeah,
We're
you take
It
the
was just not
you
Looking
take
at
the
an
ring off
elemental
and
type
yeah,
of
and you've got
goldfish
the ring no
alive.
problem. He doesn't
could
seem to
create
notice.
water.
He's wearing it over a glove, so he's got gloved hands on, and he just doesn't feel the weight of the ring missing quite yet. So
Ruby.
who knows how long that'll last?
Hi, Jack.
Well, I do.
I bet you can find out.
Yeah, and so you guys are waiting. So he sent the note off, and an hour passes, and he brings him more food and drink, and then he's like, "Are you bored?" He's like, "I bring in." He's like, "Send for Renee. She's an amazing singer. Get Renee in here." And this half troll comes in, and she has a beautiful voice, and she sings for a while. I found her. She was eating a child's head. Just amazing. Just amazing. Another hour passes.
I never thought it would be more possible to hate him. But I hate him so much more.
Nothing happens.
What was waiting on?
He wants to see Orvo. He wants to see the
Yeah.
mind flayer. And so he sent.
We're
He,
waiting-
sent
we're waiting
I
for
don't
the
care
actual
enough to
player
wait
be
this
here.
long.
he says, I don't know what's keeping him. I don't have. I mean, he does seem to move at his own
Did we
speed.
roll to
Is he
see
telling
who's
the truth?
lying? Yeah.
I mean, it's the mind flare that we're waiting for. This is the best.
Uh,
Did he actually call them?
No, he's lying. Now,
He's
now,
lying.
now that the ring's not on his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that paper. He said it has a penis on it. He just drew it and flew out the room. Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh.
He drew a penis on it.
Yeah, so he's still like.
This one is
Alex says
dishonest.
begrudgingly.
I say to Sailor.
I don't want to. I'd like to try and recover my brother's body. So if anyone can do a lot of psychic damage.
Shit. Yes, of course. Let's see.
All right,
Let's see what
Take him the fuck out.
Another hour
let's
passes.
see if I can
You guys, I can't really have this conversation in front of him. That's the only problem with. I'm normally cool with a little metagaming, but because of the the
Yeah.
context, you guys, you can all make like eye movements at each other to be like, no, you. I'm fine with that. But as far as your moves in this situation, I think it's far more fun. Do you guys have telepathy with each other by chance?
We kind of can talk.
We can talk.
quietly.
We can talk like through our teeth.
Yeah. You've got that really quiet. Let me just see.
I
if you
just
don't-
mouth. If we just mouth things,
He's
I
too
can
busy
read
talking.
lips.
He's too busy talking. he's trying to impress you and get you out of his good graces. So you guys are able to do the message.
If you
now.
didn't know this before, if you just mouthed something really subtly, I can read lips very well. So if you were just
But he's just human now, right?
He's got an intellect devourer in his
Oh,
head.
something in my eye.
I think he has some other.
He just wants the
Never
money.
mind.
We can also come back and do this.
This is something we can come back and do.
We can come back and do this later.
I'm leaving with the ring then.
Yes, what are we doing
I mean, that's the
here?
thing. We got the ring.
Why did you
Let's,
have time for
let's
this
go
shit?
and.
He says, well, at your request, sister, I'll stay here. I honestly, I shouldn't head out into the city too often. I have to maintain appearances so that I'm a beholder of all things. He says, but yeah, I'll definitely stay here. I'll hang out here, no worries.
Inside?
I'll see you later. Yeah, roll with advantage.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
What do you need?
He's so sad. so funny.
Rolled a 2 and a 3.
Oh no.
You cannot read your brother at all.
No, you're blinded by.
No, I fucking succeeded on that. I can fucking read him. God, that's so bad. 22. That's good, but I mean, like, I can't believe I've rolled so poorly.
He laughs. You're like, I know that laugh. He sounded just like the Xanathar for like when he was alive and you fought him. He sounds just like him, just for a split second.
Well, I think it is time for us to leave.
Okay, bye, buddy.
Yeah, we'll leave.
I'll see you guys later.
What's up with that guy?
And you guys leave. Smash cut through outside of the sewer using Matt presentation to get the stink off of you. And Harold's just like, ugh. All right, so you guys make it back out there. You have the ring, so make sure you write that down, I guess. And cool. So you got anything else you want to do before you head into
The Shadowfell.
the Shadowfell?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Let's take a quick let's just take like a 10-minute break and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the session. We'll get to a nice stopping point in the next half hour or so. We will be right back.
Suck it. back.
Hi, we're back.
We're
Hi.
back. Hola.
We're
Like
back
Slim
again.
Pickens.
3d10. Cool. I'm healing my beholder
Beholder.
with inflict.
Okay, during the break, Macus also gave a bunch of gold, 23,000, 300, whatever it was, a shit ton of gold to his family, and they're going. He saved with all the gold he's gotten out of town, out of Dodge.
Take all that gold.
Take the gold.
Got him out of Dodge.
Says, I won't fail you, sister. I will see you again.
Yes, of course you will.
Somebody's dying.
Yeah,
It's either you or him, I don't know.
Somebody's
I
gonna
will
die.
find
You know, yeah.
Just kidding. I'm gonna George R. Martin it, and you're all just gonna die at the end of the first season, and Max will play a character, Sir Doggington. Okay,
Dog will.
so you guys,
Barkington is much better.
And he'll win an Oscar.
what is the plan? Getting to the Shadowfell's easy. You have the rocks. You have to just cast planar travel. To save for two reasons. It's a twofold plan.
I'll do it.
You guys cannot face. Hallister is so strong. Hallister is not as written, by the way. He's pretty fucking weak stat block wise. He's gonna be so hard to fight. I'm gonna make the craziest fucking wizard you've ever seen.
So you're gonna level
Should
up,
give him
basically? Is that what you're
extra
saying?
hit points.
I'm gonna give him like three more hit points probably.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like
3 or 4?
like 8 at least. If that.
You should definitely
You know?
give him a couple.
No, I've been planning his set
2,
piece for
if that.
months, and I'm very excited.
Oh
I'm very
my
excited.
God.
I
I'm
can't
so
imagine.
scared and
If you
turned
fight
on.
him,
I know.
I
Says
will
Meryl.
say if, because he's, you know,
It'll be easy. That's why he took my dagger away. He thought it would be too powerful.
yeah.
We're gonna crush Hallister.
He's gonna actually kill you.
No,
Maybe.
I'm not even worried. I
You don't have any more lives.
You're not.
smarty
You ain't
pants.
ready for that.
ain't ready.
You ain't ready for that
You
shit.
ain't ready for that shit, bitch.
It's gonna be funs.
It's gonna be
We're gonna have a lot of good time.
And I would assume that Maven is obviously not as powerful as Hallister.
She's
But
she's the same
she's-
level you are.
Okay. Cool.
You would know by if you did any divination spells in your downtime, and then you
Okay.
could say that you have that.
So we can kick her ass too.
She
Okay, cool.
she
so
has-
she's far more.
she's grown in
That's
power
what
just
we're
like
doing.
you have. Remember, you found followers of hers. You found a cleric
Yeah,
of
she
hers.
has a lot
That's
of-
what happened last
But,
session.
like,
You guys
we're gonna-
you guys found a dead cleric, and you could
Yeah.
tell that it was from the church that she had started.
I talked to her.
Yeah.
I spoke with her.
You
I
spoke with
animated.
the anime. She's part
Yeah,
of your undead
dead.
crew. Yeah.
That's how we learned that in the end game here for Maven was to
To
Give-
perform some sort of ceremony
Right.
with the
apparently
patient one.
marry the
A consolidation
her
of
patient
power, more traditionally known as a weapon.
That's
And
what,
apparently it
because
has
that's what
to
we're doing. We're
happen
trying to
here.
conquer. Well, we want to. I want to conquer. We want to conquer the patient.
Yes,
right?
yeah, we're showing up for
The
that.
patient one is a
Hallister's
problem.
got something
Yeah.
up his sleeve, and
Ha-
we should be prepared.
Hallister
prepared
is a
for that
problem.
showdown.
Maven's a problem. And the overall Undermountain itself, Selah knows from Odak, is a existential threat of the world. It is like it will turn the world into a dungeon world,
Ooh,
We need to break it
which would be awesome. So
no.
from the bottom up.
you may not be able to defeat the Undermountain because that's a cool thing for the overall setting to happen. More and more dungeons just they like crop up out of the ground, like fucking coral reefs.
Well, let's find out when
Let's
they
do
Let's
it! D&D!
Yeah!
Oral
I'm
reefs.
really pumped.
That's a good way to imagine that.
We
Fine.
can each
Hey.
be the master of one.
Hi, Taylor, buddy.
Our own dungeons.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
We still got to go to the shadow.
Yes. So,
That's what.
but that's a matter. You have all the ammunition you need. It's planar travel. It is a. It's it probably where is the actual? Oh no, it took me to actually like the planes of existence. What's the name of the spell?
I know you be fucking with different dimensions and shit.
Aren't you a celestial?
Yes.
Yes.
It's water
Meryl
too.
has had many a conversation with her skeletons
Water
this
tea.
morning. boosting their ego and then
Meanwhile-
tuning them out.
meanwhile,
and
we-
continue talking to her.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Just like chitter chattering. And
Yes, yes, and then
and
I
we'll
just
cut
don't
back.
listen when
We'll
they
cut
talk.
back to your skeletons. Like they're all sitting on beds in the yawning portal. Like, so what did you do when you were alive? Well, I made shoes.
I miss Mary Jane.
Okay, spell list. I just don't remember the name of the spell that you need. It's not plane or travel.
Command
Plane
human.
shift.
It's command human plane shift. That's it. You're like an encyclopedia.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a spellcaster.
Oh man.
For life, girl.
Bad
I
boy
love
for
that.
life. We ain't going.
Also, I
nowhere.
had plane shift until I remembered that I couldn't use it, and I was like,
Ah!
so I switched it.
Crag.
Ah, Craig.
Oh, crag.
I'm gonna
All right, plane
Craig
shift.
nuts.
Rocks.
Ah, nuts.
Oh, crag it.
Bring that
That sounds
back.
bad. I don't like that. I don't. Yeah, sag it.
Oh.
What did you say? Oh,
Sag
I
it.
don't know.
Did he die?
No. I don't think.
Sag it.
Bob Saget.
Crazy. That's a crazy rumor to start.
Yeah, Bob Saget's dead, guys.
The Aristocats.
What? What are you talking about?
That was sorry.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget was part of a film called The Aristocrats, which was like this whole like document. Like the whole joke is you just say awful, terrible things, and then you're like the punchline. And then I was saying the Disney cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was mentioning the thing but getting it wrong.
Into it.
It was not that good. Okay, you and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence. It takes 1 action and it is instantaneous. You can specify the target in a general terms. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And you've got the material components that you need to attune to the particular plane. This is one of the rare spells that actually has a material component that is more than just like a gold or whatever. So that you need specific things from the place you want to go. But you have those. So if you link hands, we find you. Maybe you close your eyes because you're scared of this shit. Maybe you don't care, but take a stand. There you go. That's fine.
As awkward
No, he's got
as I
chocolate.
possibly
That's
can.
good.
I feel like Dell would like pinch someone.
Everyone have a hero point. As you
That's all I wanted.
as you shift through the planes, it isn't a flash. There isn't a portal. It's not a drop. It's literally around
You
you.
want mine?
Literally around you. A fog seems to roll in, but a fog not made of vapor, but a rolling ash. And the buildings seem to decay as if time is lapsing in front of you. The sun sets until it is dark and night, and you see one by one every single star in the sky go out faster and faster until it is completely dark. The city around you then shifts and grows, the peaks becoming more gothic. Some of the buildings, the taller buildings, have been destroyed. The city is completely restructured. It still forms docks, but there aren't these dividing walls like there used to be. Entire neighborhoods have been bulldozed down. Large corpses of different creatures, maybe a purple worm's skeleton is sticking up out of once inhabited residential area. All the capital has turned into a massive castle. Just think like the Disneyland, the Disney logo. It's this humongous. What was 100 different buildings is now this massive giant castle, and all the standing statues, the walking statues of Waterdeep, those humongous statues in different poses, are replaced with skeletal figures in draped robes. It's still like marble, but they're just these humongous visages. That's a hard word for me to say. Visage of death, and different depictions of different cultures, all kind of going back to, at the very least, the Grim Reaper, the classic one that we all love and know. The other interesting thing about this place is that there is one statue that stands directly full and tall, its hands outstretched, looking directly back at the castle. Up in what used to be, or in the real world, is the House of the Dead, where the graveyard. There's a whole section of town that's just a big rolling, beautiful park that's a graveyard. Standing there where there should be a statue of a wizard is a statue of a sorcerer. A sorcerer, and it's carved from obsidian, and it's black obsidian, and from its hands, plumes of smoke rise into the sky. And it is, you guys can see it, you're halfway across the city, but you can see it, it's so tall, and it's fucking Minerva. It's and it's this statue, and her eyes glow with a fire, and
what the fuck?
yeah, and you can see that whatever you've been losing in the material world hasn't been lost, and there's some mystery afoot, and we're just kind of getting to the time where we probably should wrap up. So I think this is a good cliffhanger.
That's
I'm
fun.
gonna save all my, and I mean I will show you all the monsters that I pulled that I thought we might fight tonight. Just monsters, monsters. So
For
I-
next week.
so it's perfect.
Stab.
No need to dive into any of this tonight,
Wait,
gentle
Oh, God.
friends. No, we still have a little bit of roleplay. So we're not quite done.
I'm just gonna be gone next week. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
It's a shame you'll have to miss it.
It's fine.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it. You're right. We just have to play for 3 more hours. Sorry, guys.
Fuck me.
Oh God.
I can't do that.
So yeah, you see that, and for a moment, everyone maybe has a "the fuck" moment, and looks around, except maybe you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm real happy about it.
Oh, I mean, and roll
I'm
me an insight.
genuinely shocked, but like stoked.
Well, there are a few things that are happening to you right now. Yeah, you're shocked and stoked.
I mean, I think that Meryl would be.
21.
Yeah, at first you're like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at it, and as you look down at yourself, you can see that you're even thinner than you were before. Thinner, I mean, like you're fading
Yeah.
even faster. You have not,
Fancy.
you haven't become safer here. It's
Yeah,
as
that
if,
percentage tick just went down a little bit more.
as a matter of fact,
Oh, yeah.
your mana point maximum reduces by 5
You don't say.
permanently.
Boom, boom, boom.
Don't none of that like writing it down for later shit.
It's just.
It's just going away.
It's gone.
Oh God.
Oh no.
As that happens, this is when you notice it. This place is, something's wrong with this place. There is no color anywhere. It is gray as far as the eye can see. What light you guys have, one of you pulls out a torch so we get a little bit of ambiance or light, or you cast light.
My dancing light.
But even like your dancing lights,
I still do
there are
that.
bursts of color and it slaps against your skin. You can see it on you, but it pulls
Mm-hmm.
away. Light tones they shift gray the longer they're used. And this place, your hope, your joy, everything that like motivates you in a good way is almost inaccessible. It's super hard to touch that source. It's like, I mean, I think everyone at this table understands. It's like if depression was something you could breathe in.
Oh my God.
Everyone roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Everybody add your +5.
No,
Oh.
Don't do that.
that does not work here at Bryce.
I'm gonna use my luck.
21.
Luck point.
16.
Non nat 20.
19.
16 as well.
Okay, you rolled 21.
Mm-hmm.
You said non-nat 20.
16.
16, non-nat 20.
Non nat
Okay.
20.
You and you are fine. You roll d6, you roll d6, you roll a d6. All your passive paladin abilities don't work in the Shadowfell. Your magic ones do, and you can feel the strain, and you can tell that when you run out of magic, you won't be able to touch it again.
I wanna kind of like pull my hands up and like look at him and see like how does my magic feel here?
It works
Do I feel
fine.
in control of
Yeah,
it?
it's fine.
Okay.
It's purely that his is powered by a connection to the Undermountain.
Okay.
And to like not the Undermountain,
Really?
the mountain itself, like the weave, and you're not there anymore. What did you roll?
3.
3.
No, no.
You feel a wave of apathy wash over you, until you leave the Shadowfell and spend a week outside of it, your character has disadvantage on death saving throws
Oh no.
and on dexterity checks for initiative, and gains the following flaw. I don't believe I can make a difference anymore.
Oh my god.
So go ahead and write that.
That's heavy.
What did you roll?
4.
You have to use a wish spell.
You now have a disadvantage on all saving throws. And you gain the following flaw. I'm convinced this place is going to kill me. You get a real sense of dread.
Oh god.
This isn't a madness effect necessarily. This is just called a despair. So this is like its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
All the
last days of your
all
life.
the planes have an optional.
Just a plane.
All the planes have an optional rule that you can enforce if you want to, and I love that. I love the Shadowfells. What did you roll?
6.
This is great. He has all 3 of them. You don't feel so angelly anymore. Same thing I said for him applies to you. Your magic arrows do not work here. Well, let me rephrase that. You can pull the magic you need to create an arrow, but no, I don't want to do that to you. Take that back. I take that back. You any kind of like healing effects, any kind of spell-like abilities you have,
Diminished.
they don't work.
Yeah.
But your combat like magic stuff, it works. You've got magic items and things. So you cannot see through lies here.
And initiative.
That kind of stuff.
And
Any of like those angel.
And you have this awful.
Dex.
Like we can't save you in this condition.
Yeah.
You have to be a willing creature and participant here. You have to want it, Minerva.
You have this. You have disadvantage on
doomed.
ability checks and saving
We're
throws
doomed.
that use intelligence, wisdom,
Okay, and you think you're gonna
and
die
charisma. Because you can't fucking tell what's real anymore, bro.
Oh my
You
God.
don't fucking know what's real.
We have
What
to
the
get out
fuck?
of here.
You gain
Tripping out, bro.
you gain a level of you gain a type of madness. So
Oh.
apathy, dread, madness.
Crazy.
And as you look out into Shadowdeep, the horrible reflection of the happy, bustling city that you were just jaunting through, you know that whatever's waiting for you at that statue, one of you gets to leave here, you. So.
Yeah, me or this thing.
And
Gotcha.
you can feel that. You can feel inside of you, like if there wasn't a giant statue there, you would know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
Because you're being pulled there. You're literally like you're losing yourself. And I'm gonna like just some like meta foreshadowing. You're gonna have to make a very big choice for your character.
Okay.
Like so be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. All right, cool. Everybody level up.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Crazy!
Since we haven't fought yet, you guys can have max your total new hit points. So, well, no, because you cast spells and stuff between then. Yeah. No, never mind.
I have.
Never mind. She took a short rest. We're in a continuity of a day, so. So your current stays the same. Your max goes. Cool. You'll be level 19, and
Cool.
It's pretty cool. Pretty dope.
Peter.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
okay. I think I know how I'm gonna do it. Sorry, man. I want you're like celestial touch, and I punish Bryce for being a holy caster. So I want something for you. Those other things are not good enough. You not being able to see truth is not good enough. You have 25 arrows you can pull before you can't touch your mother's magic anymore. Before you'd have until you get back to a realm where you can. The Shadowfell is just you had basically whatever was in the holster is all you have left. It has a tank right now, but once you get back to life, back to reality.
What was the one Roman Bubba
Okay,
guy?
that's an appropriate.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Those are ones
I'll take that.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for tuning in.
It's nice and balanced.
Taylor is. I love the chat emojis. They're
What are
so
they doing?
they're so weird. He sent just 3 dogs barking. Oh my dog is the name of the little guy, and then he says kill them all. So.
Great.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Tune in Tuesday. Taylor,
Voidwalker.
since you're here right now, yeah, Taylor, if you want to come play Voidwalker Tuesday, if you want to come play Dawn, come do it. We'd be down.
Come play on Voidwalker.
We'd like to see you.
Would you stream it so I can watch it?
No.
I
Yeah, this
think
week we
I'll
won't.
be there again this week.
Cool. And what else? Announcement. It's gonna be a minute before we do another live event. I don't want to do the whole spiel because I've already talked to the table, but basically we had a great time and I really liked it, and I just want to tweak it, get just right. We need to get some lapel mics and just some simple setup stuff. So probably fall is what I'm guessing. But instead, we're gonna push up the podcast, which was gonna be a very cool Voidwalker one-on-one, hour-long, one-on-one DM versus player mini sesh or a sesh, and then we're gonna go around and be like an anthology series that eventually all the stories will start to entwine on each other, and I think that's really cool. And then okay, so he just also there's
Cool.
face and there's some salt and and there's seems good. So. Okay, have a good night, and until next week, remember to always suck it!